Riot Games Arena, let's hear it for the next two teams taking the stage on this opening day is G2 and MIBR!
All right, and there you have it. Of course, with G2 Esports, MIBR, we talked about it before. These teams, Mimi, they are certainly familiar with each other. As we saw the breakdowns in these rosters specifically, we know that there is a lot of pressure here that is going to be coming for both of these teams for this opening matchup.
A rematch in the middle finals, two teams with super high expectations and getting to have probably their hardest match to start.
All right, now, of course, before the match, we do want to ask everyone to please join us in a moment of silence to honor the passing of Jal, the younger brother of MIBR, Sasi. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate your time, and we, of course, thank you. And we want to send our love to Sasi, we want to send our love to MIBR, we want to send our love to Sasi's family in this time. Thank you so much once again. All right, so now let's go ahead and refocus here as we get ready for this matchup. Map select should be coming up in a moment. And we know both of these teams coming into this one, a lot of passion out there on the field today, especially with the news that happened. But I think more importantly, I think everyone's out here really to just give us the best show possible.
Absolutely, I think especially for MIBR getting a redemption from that 0-3, it was a really dominant loss for them in that middle final. Looking at the maps, though, I want to talk about the changes to the pool. I think both these teams benefit from it. That Abyss going out was not a favorite of MIBR's. You say exactly the same with the Corrode for G2, bringing back in maps that historically were strong for both of these cores as well. I think it's going to be a very interesting change-up from the last time these teams played.
You can actually see, I don't know if you guys heard, but players were doing a 1-2-3 for Sasi there, so that's pretty dang cool. A lot of passion, a lot of emotion coming into this one for MIBR. But great points there that, Mimi, you bring up, right? A lot of changes coming into this one, Emily. And you have a lot of map changes. You have a lot of agent changes. And these players, too, right? G2 learned so much coming out of Santiago. And MIBR, well, they had to watch all these players learn so much at that event.
Yeah, especially feeling like we should have been there. We were one map away in that first best of 3 to actually qualify. And G2, they got the same results. But the thing that they benefited from was getting that new playstyle incorporated. Valve being able to call at a different pace with that double duelist by leaning into that. And now we are here starting off with Lotus, which Mimi was right. This is a map that both teams are pretty strong on. So I think it's going to be very intense. I expect for G2 to kind of slow down their pace just a little bit and play into the more of push and pull that comes with Lotus.
Could you, though, theoretically, to Josh Art's idea, which was that they want to be aggressive, could you theoretically not do the push and pull and instead opt for that more aggressive playstyle here on Lotus?
I mean, you could, but I feel like with G2, that's what they're so good at. They're so good at controlling the map, and I feel like they can still do that with aggression. They can assert dominance by kind of going for these certain defaults and kind of conditioning the map, but I think that they're still going to try and play it strategically. I don't think it's going to be absolutely running it down.
Sure, I think attack side, I would expect to see a fair amount of 4-1s for G2. This is one of Leaf's best maps, in my opinion. When he plays the Viper here, I think he's really an expert at how he's pushing, pulling on the extremity, oftentimes being that A lobby lurker who's re-walking into that space late round and providing so much pressure, or when it starts in A lobby default, being that late embed to call back to. Valen is a very comfortable caller on this map. Taking a look at the composition, the Neon's not a surprise, but seeing that second controller be the Harbor instead of the Viper certainly is.
Yeah, I feel like there's really, they lose a lot of stall when they switch over to that defensive half. They have the vibes being able to be that Senti and kind of anchor down, especially towards that C or A side that we know so well. But I feel like having the Harbor, I don't know what to expect when they get to that second half.
I feel like the push wall is good for both sides. Getting a lot of control, getting a lot of space.
With that ultimate.
With that ult, being able to run up behind it, should be good. It should work out. I think the wall might be okay for a little bit of C executes or being annoying towards that A site. But I'm really looking for the defensive side to be able to use that push wall to take that A main space, to re-clear B main really well, and maybe even set up traps outside of C.
Yeah, before the aging changes, I think we would have probably expected to see Baby Bay locking in the chamber on this map, that op that he's been so good at. But I think seeing the Vice picked up reflects an expectation of seeing a Neon on the other side for both teams. I think that's one of the hardest counters to actually full stall out that agent and fix your C site, especially for G2 playing without that Viper. Focus on MIBR though, they're sticking to the double duelist. Aspas locking in that raise here is interesting.
So Zekin just gaslit us in that interview.
Playing a little more passive, he locks the most aggressive agent right now.
Just feel so deceived by you, man. You know, I thought we were tight, and turns out you're just a dirty liar. No,
Never trust someone from New Jersey.
Whoa, Liz is watching. She's probably
Liz
mad.
is trustworthy. Okay, I take it back. I'm sorry.
Liz is watching, bro. Oh man, hey, but look, this is it is definitely a fascinating thing that you always see Aspas, like we always have this conversation about him needing to be the guy that would play like X character, X agent, this role, this jet, blah, blah. But like he's clearly trying to do different things to fit within whatever the team is asking of him to do here. At least that's my take.
Yeah, I feel like maybe with this, we're gonna see him playing a little bit more into that role that we are all expecting of the super hyper aggression.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe being paired up with Zekin, zooming together might be the key. That being said, I also want to see him op more, just in general. I feel like he does a good job when he picks up the op, even if it's
You want Zekin too?
both.
Okay.
Zekin or Aspas. And I think it works out because with one, you could take a lot of space, but with the other, you can play more passive.
Folks, let's send it over to your casters who are confident that they could be the next Baby Bay. Actually, they told me that themselves. Here's Bren and Sideshow. Good luck, teams, or pick them up.
Don't do it.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I've already had my time in the sun. I think we're trying to 1v1 Baby Bay in the past. Didn't go well for me.
Yeah, it didn't go well, did it?
No, I almost got an entire broadcast taken off air as well. But regardless, let's focus in. Let's talk about the match. It's MIBR versus G2. Two of our juggernaut teams in Americas, by the way. It should be a phenomenal matchup, and they've got skin in the game off the rip here for stage one for our opener for us. Well, second match of the opening day, I guess, as well. Because this is an MIBR squad that ended up bombing out. Adeska was already talking about it. They went through that gauntlet in the kickoff and just really spiraled out of the tournament entirely in those BO5s. G2 were waiting there in the middle finals. They were the one who bested them.
3-0, and it saw Aspas dropping an absolute stinker as well, going -20, which is a rare performance from one of the greatest players we have in the game. What a clash here this could be.
Yeah, it's 4v5. The bodies are stacked up, and it might be dropping at a moment's notice. It's all quiet for now, but it's going to get explosive soon enough. There it is. Stuns ricocheting off the back of it. And the pistols need to be well trained and aimed at these corners. The util, impeccable stuff. Another one, why not? Throw it down at the feet. Just a temper that aggression at G2, but they have evened it out into a 2v2. Almost immediately at that, but still it's all Trent.
That's nice from Trent, actually. Just holding that angle for a little bit longer, expecting Verno to go for an info peek. Valen had the chance to slow the round down, and now it's just a perfect opportunity to do so. Tex has got no idea where these guys are going around the map. I mean, he's going to have information if they do end towards C.
He's out in the open though here. G2 perfectly happy to wait this one out, let the round stew a little bit. You have a player advantage.
Tex feeling like they're going in the opposite direction now, though. He took a glimpse over towards the A line, didn't see anything.
Yeah.
He's thinking, well, of course they weren't hiding on A. That's exactly what G2 were doing.
Waiting it out for now, but now looking to get a bit of space up onto this A site. There's diligence here, making sure that they clear all the angles.
Spike plant.
Now the plant finally down as well, but Tex has got one hell of a meal in front of him. A 1v2. Not much util to his name. Single flash. Might not even want to use it, might just want to keep the gun out entirely. And a pretty standard affair from G2, doubled up. Looks like a high-low, active over towards that tree side, and as soon as signs of life spotted Tex, just needs to get the one, but the bullets need to be good on his side. Classic in hand is a tough job, horn towards his back, and G2 have got it all handled here. Explosive to begin, and then tempered towards the end, but it's a pistol round under the belt for G2.
Yeah, you see that G2 was super ready for the haunt that was a plan to come in if it had been a normal rubble fight. Instead, it's a refight from MIBR. They take the aggression on a slightly delayed timing, about 5 seconds into the round. And there were multiple chances for both teams to call it off. And, you know, settle into a 3v3 or a 2v2.
Yo, you stole my kill, bro. You stole my kill.
Yeah, okay. It's the kind of energy we're bringing in.
Zekken pulled out the Bucky, buying down to 550 in the second round.
I respect it. You're on Neon, why not?
See if you can get something done with a character that really suits the shotguns in hand.
Yeah, shotguns on either side.
And since they've heard a little bit of noise over towards Mount, this is where MIBR want to gamble. And look, another refight, very similar to round 1. Except this one reactive based off the noise of where G2 are taking space.
Gaunt stun, coming around a corner here. Jorgenmo's ready with that judge in hand and just going to be putting them into a bit of a blender. Making mincemeat of a variety of players that MIBR just trying to offer themselves up here. They will be falling shortly. Too much to overcome.
In the meantime, BabyBay's taking all of this space over towards B.
Yeah, he's going to be calling for space here, but they found the last straggler. Verno picked off. 2-0 nice and early here for G2. It's healthy going into the bonus. Only one player going down. That was Jorg.
So far, you're already seeing the ideas of both of these teams are bringing in. MIBR want to take the fight to G2. They want to find them around the map and force big teamfight brawls where the double duelist comp can have an edge. And G2...
Don't let me get the orb and gave me the orb and the plant. How do you even do that?
Yeah, and that's left Trent 2 away from getting his ult online. Might not be able to play for it necessarily. Depends whether MIBR give them free space on A. I don't think anything's free against MIBR.
No.
They're going to force a team fight to take anything around the map.
This time off the rip. No patience. No tempering of it. Already, Zekken's just there. Going to be planning himself over towards the rubble section. Judge in hand. And this is G2. Squarely postured. Unable to take a lot of that space early on. Zekken's going to make sure to absorb up a lot of it here. It's going to be able to get very good mid-round information.
Spamming that and breaking it, just to make sure that MIBR would be able to put pressure in that direction.
What is that?
Jorg was not expecting the wall to be there for starters, and Aspas behind it, super confident. They thought the wall was over towards C again.
Cleaned him up in a moment's notice, but it goes both ways. Is that just blind fire through the smoke? Yes, it is.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, Aspas gone. Text now. Next up, there's no wall to give him that timing, but he takes the peek anyway. That's instinctual from him. Have a chance to re-peek. Potentially there. Difficult fights on offer, but Tex is still confident for it.
That's lovely.
Coming out swinging, and Zekken now, he spotted out where the last two are, but that is not the gun for the job at hand, BabyBay. Level of awareness, he's just spotted it out wide, almost going down, shredded down to 14, but he's managed to crack open a bit of a section of this map over towards A now.
Yeah, an intelligent way for BabyBay to take the fight, backing up as far as he could from the angle so the judge is less favored. He gets to see Zekken before Zekken can see him as well. A chance here, there is still a chance.
You're going to get a move on, but you've got to also hold this one off because the bullets are rattling down on your heads. There's 12 seconds remaining. The C's is lightning fast. Mazzino is ensuring that he puts a stop to any sort of activation of that plant.
And it's pretty clean in the end, isn't it, from MIBR as they sweep through. A lot of that round being based on the Vice utility and where Tex had placed it down. You want to be mixing it up. Your defensive setups have got to be mobile on a map like this. That trade comes through out of absolutely nowhere. Gets stuck inside the thorns, though.
Yeah, he might have heard a sound cue.
Yeah, he might have heard a sound cue off the back of that.
Aggro plays. Nice! There we go. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Frod spells it out with what we've already been seeing. The aggression of the double duelist, that's what they need to be leaning into here. Very aggressive. C-mount control looks like a priority. This cove is being placed down by G2 as well.
They're trying to break it as quickly as they can.
MIBR making sure that nobody can skirt past it and take control of C without them knowing the door switch flipped. Leaf is already inserting himself deeper over towards rubble. A cautious tail being wove here by G2.
Well, now you know that C is a little bit weaker. You found the wall over towards B. If you can, you know, try to put pressure on A and C, you're going to weaken one of them for sure. Looks like the destination in mind for Valen is over towards A. Getting Leaf on the Omen just looks weird, man. There's a couple of roles in this game that we haven't touched on just yet that are strange.
Yeah.
I keep thinking it should be Leaf playing the Vice here.
Right.
Setting up for these lurk timings on defense, pushing out. Are MIBR going to fight this?
They're trying to get proactive ahead of this setup that could potentially be it. What is the util? Just a flash to play off and barely able to get the rifle under control. Just the one for Verno before he's traded out. Firefight's going away at G2.
It did actually catch G2 off guard a little bit, but the rifling was just wonky from MIBR.
Nade rebounding. There's only 27 seconds left into this one. Jorg trying to play his team back in, but straight for it out. Whoa, Jorgemo!
He didn't even see him.
He's active! Locked in, but eventually shut down. Texto. Again, a hell of a task for him in a 1v3. late to the party. Already with that forward pressed up position. Trent ensuring that he shuts it down. 3-1 here for G2.
It's a great beginning for them. They've also put pressure now on MIBR's economy. Starting to build up to alt cycles of their own too. MIBR want to take these fights. I mean, this one was forced as well.
Yeah.
This is not a normal way that you would look to try to re-clear over towards rubble. It's off the back of one paranoia. I mean, to be fair, like I said, they almost got it working, but Verno took a while landing the shots onto the second player, and Mazzino couldn't do anything with the open door. Economy broken for MIBR.
Yeah.
Some players could have bought up more than they did, but they're choosing just to keep the coffers safe.
Plenty of opportunities here for Leaf to thrive with that Outlaw.
Yeah, he's still going to be lurking, still going to be buying the Outlaw.
Very controlled by G2. As much as it has been explosive from both sides, opting into these gunfights, but G2 are making sure that they can pick apart the map, find out where the walls are being laid.
Oh, it's definitely G2 trying to control the aggression right now, isn't it? And MIBR, as you heard from Frog, wanting to take the aggressive option whenever possible.
Aspas was full armor. Able to limp away.
I think they might have got the wrong read off that, though. Aspas looking big and looking confident there has driven them into the stack.
That's where the Vice setup is. Thorns are going to be deaded, though. Possibly preemptively. They're going to be ricocheting off to the back, and that is a ton of util flooding in. Blind as anything, MIBR still looking to see if they can hold their ground. Aspas is into the fight. 10 HP, but he does have that showstopper. Ults could be committed. In fact, they are on the side of G2, feeling like it's getting a little bit dicey. So Nightfall from Trent, at least to see if he can push the players back and away. MIBR will concede up most of that space.
Yeah, they really need a pick, even 2 picks before Aspas feels like committing the showstopper. On 10 HP as well, your chances of it working are so low.
Very slim. More likely that you're going to be spammed down. And going for the long corners, looks like here for MIBR. They're just...
Yeah, this might be a die to spike kind of vibe.
Yeah.
We'll see. Valen's one away from getting his ult, and that's a huge one for the attackers. So I think the percentage play here is probably just a die to spike.
Go, go, go.
Good kill from Zekken. Time running short. Looks like they want to make a go for this one, but still players waiting to receive with open arms. They shut down and slap down this MIBR squad.
Different calculus being done there on the MIBR side. Maybe thinking that they can get closer to their own ultimates, and it's worth just trading it out. Just assuming that Valen's going to be able to pick up an orb or get a plan, you know, some way of being able to get that ult online anyway.
The war chest is starting to brim up, isn't it, for G2?
Well,
it's online.
It is, but it kind of is on the other side as well. Yeah, the economy's not good for MIBR, but they're one away from Vice ultimate, Fade ultimate, Aspas with a showstopper. There are many, many tools for MIBR to start getting this map under control, but it has to come now.
Go, go, go.
Another fight offered up. See the way that these teams operate in it. A ton of util going to be exchanged back and forth. Switch flipped. Mazzino with a peek, and that is like a Ferrari, just comes out of nowhere and rips Lee's head clean off.
Look at how MIBR are faking the rubble fight, trying to draw out Valen's ultimate. He's being patient with it, though, at the moment.
Deep space from Aspas as well over towards that C-mount area. Calling for the pause, though, now.
This is one of those rounds where MIBR cannot invest fully into a big team fight brawl because Valen's ult could swing the tide in the G2's favor at any point. So MIBR have got to try to bait it out. They've got to look like they're posturing aggressively in one area and try to drop back a little bit. And they've gotten themselves into a 5v4 by playing like that already. This wall has been towards B basically every round apart from the pistol.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Tex mix it up a little bit, but maybe he's just thinking double Thorns on C is good enough.
They have been fighting actively for that C-mount control, so maybe feeling like most of the rounds they can have a player posted deep, getting the info regardless.
This is a nice aggressive duelist player.
Yeah, it's Aspas.
30 seconds
Still the
left.
control of the map. You can see just from the position at MIBR. Incredibly passive, looking to absorb any sort of lurks. They know that G2 like to cut noise and contact up as much as they possibly can, but look at it activate now. There's only 20 seconds remaining. The paranoia saved for a situation like this. MIBR, though, not the turn, swinging straight into the wall. Seconds there to trade it out. Showstopper! Aspas is there. Just collect the one kill. Needs to get the rest of his team in, and time is of the essence. G2, they're going to get this plant down, but it's just Trent. One man alone, and a tap, and time ran fully out of his favor.
What a round
Zeno with a 3-piece. That is nice work.
Yeah, the opening shot was beautiful as well. Taking down Valen. MIBR, they're showcasing that they can play a more passive look to the game as well. Once they got into an advantage, 5v4, drop him back. Still applying a little bit of pressure, but always making sure that they could be the ones flooding back in with the showstopper.
Yeah.
Aspas in his really classy position, just holding that stairs push and then ready to use the ult. Always keeping in mind the win condition for the round. It's a good sign for MIBR.
Trying to claw their way back up to a bit of a level scoreline and a different setup entirely for MIBR. They are full aggro. All the aggression in the world over towards that C-mount area. G2 have read this and recognized it and now going for a quick reaction, but they are looking to get slowed down by this Vice setup. Texas there has Thorns, will want to dead them. All up in their face, door closing into their face. Tex just needs to hold on to that backside control. Ensure that his team can get back in nicely here. These are ult expended.
That's a nice harbor ult position to leave it in.
The wall's going to be causing issues, but a quick hop up towards that high ground box. Back down again. This is ulti being expended again with the Nightfall scattering across. Steel Garden looking to take away some of these guns. A time again, but that overdrive, that's not going to be removed out of the grips of Second. He's going to use it to light them up and see if he can pave a bit of a way to victory. Wide swing and Second! Running a mockery over him and a galvanizing end to that round.
Ridiculous situation to end it there. Tripled up in tree. Both Vice players utilizing their ultimates in that round, but yeah, I mean, Zekken at no point particularly affected by that. He's got the laser gun out at all times.
He's just describing his, I'm just going to track them all. Yeah, okay, they were lined up.
Oh my
He's just full strafing away from them at all times as well. So difficult as a target to hit.
And that round was chaos. It was pretty much every ult expended, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
it was
on
literally
either
just
side.
dump the ult bag as much as you possibly can, because that was the round that knocks G2's economy finally down.
Yeah.
It's G2 that have been in control of this map basically from the beginning, and now this is the time where MIBR are favored to equalize. So, well worth it on both sides to just be throwing ults into that situation. And MIBR, I mean, I like it. Again, the fact that they're confident enough to be able to push out one side of the map, leave Tex alone completely on an island, but confident enough that he's going to be able to delay for them still to play retake properly. Tex, I was saying the last time that these two teams played, we were talking about kickoff, how much pressure MIBR were under, how devastated they must be to have not made Santiago, honestly.
Yeah.
But in the match that they played against G2, G2 3-0'd them. And I said that Aspas had an unusually poor performance. Tex also, playing against his former teammates, just wasn't able to find his rhythm at all. So the fact that he's able to take positions like that, solo anchoring A, and be such a key anchor position in how the round works.
Yeah, even if it's not just the kills, it's the delay.
Yeah.
You know, buying time for the rest of his team to get in position.
The delay, the positioning, making sure that MIBR are ready for it, and then a massive scrap in terms of ultimates where MIBR were patient and didn't just walk into G2.
There.
No real switch up from MIBR. Still
There.
looking to play towards the strengths of their composition.
There.
This time, both the duelists in one place. Very similar setup, just reversed essentially from them. Satchel a little bit too early, but all good. MIBR full throttle over towards A.
But the difference is the wall is not here, right? So Tex has one less tool to be able to delay this if G2 go full guns blazing on C.
It'll get very tricky, especially with the smoke propped up, because again, he doesn't know if they're just lurking up behind this one.
No more thorns.
Util's being picked apart here. Not choosing to detonate it, but a series of unknowns swirling in the back of his mind as it sees the ult into the back. Is at least going to be done, taken out, but there's the Thorns. Lay it down, hold on. That's a bit of anti-synergy. I mean, Tex is able to just really hold his own. Batter down the hatches.
Yeah. He does a great job, though. He gets seen by the Omen, seized, and then he dodges the Neon stun anyway.
Yeah.
In theory, Jorgamo should be able to land an easy stun, but Tex is wily with it. And that lets him come back around and delete the entry player for G2. Very nice anchoring so far from Tex.
The team now looking to see if they can square up here. Wide face by Leaf. A jar with a movement. Taking liberties now. As the site opened up, Zekken is still here, still active, still alive, and as long as he's in the server, he's a bit of a problem for them. Damage being done, and that is pure disrespect.
What's his secondary weapon?
He's preparing for London, mate.
You can't be telling me that that's the optimal play.
It's just unbelievable.
I saw a knife kill earlier this morning in EMEA from a player that had used both of the shots in their shorty. And in that situation, I'm like, yeah, okay. Here, he's got a shorty, bro. He has a shorty, and he pulls out the knife instead.
Nice, Zach. There we go. Get your one, baby. Get your
It's about
one.
sending a message.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really sending a message.
9 and 6. Top of the scoreboard.
Tex is expecting an adjustment here. He's anticipating a B hit. So he's put Thorns with the wall now on B. And he is so right.
Constant adjustment to the setup. The Thorn's going to be used nice and early.
It's a perfect read.
Wall potentially, yeah. It's spotted out and even triggered. So a couple of obstacles at least removed from G2's path.
And early on as well, so really nice proactivity from G2 to bait it out and not overcommit inside of it. And now, anytime that you bait out that level of Vice Util, I think you can go back over towards C. Because you know that Tex is not going to have the same tools to be able to work with.
I'll hold on to control, get that information, but spotting the Neon. Don't really want anything to do with that.
Here comes Zekken on the long rotate to provide some backup.
Tex very much alone though this time around. Walls up. We can see if they can bait bits and pieces more. This Util, Baby receiving his pressure again. Aggro plays, but Verno, as soon as that switch is flipped, he does not feel safe. Quick evacuation out of main, and the decision is made to go over towards the B site, but Thorns removed. G2 though, they've got that firepower, the weapons, rifles, all trained on the right places. Crack open the B site, 2-player advantage left towards them. Plan can go down with safety in numbers. Watching for any sort of tomfoolery, Tex and Zekken. How the hell do you fight your way out of this one? The angle's watched. Smoke's propped up, and there's a shorty. Good awareness from Jorg.
Tex is just looking to hold on to the rifle at this point, isn't he? Looking to back it all the way up.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful round called by Valen there. I thought they were going for the B fake into the C pivot, and instead they fake it again. Pump faking over towards C and still end on B after they baited out all of that Vice utility early in the round. And they completely caught the MIBR guys over towards the blue room. Look at this. Just walking through the smoke one by one straight into Leaf and Trent. Behind the play.
Yeah, maybe thinking they were ahead of it, but the pace that G2 called.
Yeah, Verno was just spiraling backwards, wasn't he? Because he tried to get on that deep B angle, and he just had to bunny hop out of there.
We haven't really mentioned it too much, but Lotus coming back into the map pool. It's a big win for G2.
Yeah, it is.
Corrode out is a map that they've been struggling with. Got into the floor as well. Lets them try and play their way in over towards that C-mount angle, but no aggro play from MIBR. It's again just Tex anchoring. This time with the wall.
Yeah, with the wall. He's being a bit greedier for himself now, just in case G2 sends something in his direction. And MIBR getting Zekken posted up with a judge on a front B side.
Aspas. It's on a bit of a perch here. Might be able to see over the smoke now. It's a little bit too high for him.
Yeah, that's risky. It's
specifically a lot to account for.
Yeah, it's so tough.
Triple face! Oh my!
Oh, they knew.
You'll be listening to the comments at a moment like that. Mazzino, just the one before the trade is online. G2 barrel over these A players. The entirety of the site now theirs. Fast and loose though is the approach from MIBR. They want to try and take this one with risks in mind. That's how you even the scales.
It's a great stun. Pressure from behind onto Valen. He had a Prowler in front and a stun behind. Nothing he could do.
33. Rifle now committed. Cuts away the sound cues. Verno's not going to be able to hear too much, but again, the shots are still there, and he's found the slightest of gaps to play around with. Baby down and out. This is G2 with their backs pressed against the wall. It's awkward positions in terms of the anchor. Planted out wide against it, and they're just spotting back in the heads from a couple of these players. All called out. The comms clean. Now Leaf's position noted. One man and a 1v2. What can he do in a spot like this? Verno sticking already. The onus on Leaf. And Zekken honed in, locked in. Ensures that nothing goes awry.
Would have been a lovely time for Leaf to try to throw out a floating one-way smoke. Zekken and Verno have got that locked up. The MIBR coordination looks like it has improved since kickoff. And maybe that's a low bar to say that you have to just be improving over time. When you just haven't seen a team for so long.
I mean, it's been like 2 months.
Yeah, these teams have taken completely different roads recently just because of the final games that were played at kickoff. We know what G2 have been up to recently. This composition, obviously, a big shift away with the meta change, but MIBR, if they're coming into stage 1 and they've done a lot of grinding, they could be a team to pay some serious attention to.
Has opened up again the aggressive proactivity. MIBR making sure that they are always keeping players deep pushed, getting information.
This insertion from Jogamo, though, is different, new, interesting.
Yeah, and he's got a shotgun too. Bucky could do some serious work here. Call is being made. He missed it! Oh, he's just missed the timing, hasn't he? Being pressured from either side. A call was made now by MIBR, looking to clean up the space over towards A, but G2 running rings around them. Mazzino barely able to get the hell out of there.
I think he blinded the whole bunch, though.
Might have slowed him down just a bit so he can play his life out and in around that pillar. Doesn't want to give it up too much. The weaponry's still a bit weak here for G2. Not too much in terms of what they can work with, but the Stingers will do nevertheless still.
Spike down, C.
MIBR with the rifles, one hell of an advantage, and they're making sure to use it to its fullest. Weak as anything and being played into perfection. Zekin.
Yeah, that's how you want to see the Neon be used.
Yeah, putting his body on the line.
This one, a light by round. Valen might want to keep this. Jorg, I think, would be perfectly happy running a Judge or something like that into the next. And Valen decides to commit in.
Yeah.
But MIBR guaranteeing a worst-case scenario, an even half after G2 were running things early on. What were they up, 4-1?
Yeah.
I think it's a great recovery.
Almost dragging it.
Ah, man. Jorg, he has the Bucky out. And just as he goes to break the door, meets Zekin on the other side. Moments before disaster.
Yeah. One more round to be played in this half.
And we get Aspas with an operator.
It's been full-on aggression from MIBR, start to finish. This might be one of the rounds where they do look to slow it down. At least up towards the A side of the map. Deep B pressure already exerted by MIBR.
Yeah, Zekin is not slowing things down.
No. Pushed all the way out. It's no shotgun, but just a stinger for Jorg. Orbs picked up, ults built up.
What does this look like for G2? Do they clear this? Do they think about it?
Space was taken so early on, and the Prowler does connect, so pretty critical stuff. Ult's going to be used just to see if they can clear this one out. Spam onto the corner. Verno, he was looking to see if he can offset some of that pressure. How about the evacuation for Zekin to get the hell out, but he's paid for it with his life.
It's a big loss. It also means that MIBR are lacking quite a bit of information in the final minute of this round. But they're so close to massive ultimates. Tex and Aspas one away from round-changing ults.
Yeah.
Bring them down.
Playing retake B as well to try to dodge this Vice ult from Baby Bay.
Deep ult now. All the ults going to be expended, at least with that Steel Garden. Clears the way over towards B. Nade to buy a bit of time, Aspas. One more kill, he will get that showstopper online, but his position, it's not ideal. He's just looking for a chance to just get involved. There's walls in your face. Slipping in through the back. Mazzino is caught. Flanks accounted for. Baby Bay has his eye on it.
This is a massive 1v1 on the flank here. If Tex wins it, he gets Vice ult.
Vitally important if the kills go his way. Aspas has an ult turned up, but he's 17 HP! And the ult, oh my! Showstopper rebounds against the floor, finds his way forwards, but Tex is dropped anyway. Zekin, when the rings overdrive, is there, but 7 HP. Surely not. How can he do it? Time running short, and one bullet will do the job. Baby Bay, 3 kills in a round for him. And he drags it level 6-6.
Great to see Baby Bay back, top of the scoreboard, in Americas, looking comfortable. Santiago was a little bit shaky for the guy, but he's coming up with some huge moments for his team. Like I said, that duel on the flank was important, especially with Aspas doing this. If he had lost that or lost the clutch, the half would be in a much worse spot. G2 survive.
Red Bull gives you wings.
as anything between these two squads. 6-6 here on Lotus. Skin in the game off the rip here. Normally, you know, it's hard, I think, to see the reason, the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to, you know, the stages, the group stages in general in terms of the stakes. But this really is a battle for the top of the groups between these two squads right here in week one.
It really is. Group Alpha, you are looking at these two teams as being heavy favorites as the #1 seed coming out of it into playoffs. And I don't think that's underselling the other teams particularly. Like G2 and MIBR they're just stacked with talent. It's outrageous. We thought that MIBR were going to be one of our representatives heading to Santiago, and then they crashed down through the bracket multiple times. G2 helping them along the way, a quick push down the cliff.
That's why MIBR, look at the show that these 2 months that they've had, they've not been taking time off.
Well, they had a very aggressive approach to the defense, didn't they? So I think G2 will be expecting something similar here.
But they just contact up. They cut all noise, walking up as much as they possibly can. And Trent was even the first one spotted. MIBR ready for the repeat. Sees the signs of life, though. That switch has flipped. Thorns will delay. Potential to get G2 in position. There's a 3-player flank as well occurring. A lot of pressure now going to be onto Tex, but what can you do with just that Sheriff? Turns out quite a lot. There's 1 kill there. Make it 2. That is filthy work.
Giacomo just flew into the bullet.
Quick little jump spot. Gets the acknowledgement that Mazina was looking for. Waiting for it though. Stun waited out. Ricochets for now. Needs to be dealt with, and it is indeed. The horn broken. Wall is making it awkward here. It really changes the dynamic of this site, but aggression still seems to be the name of the game. MIBR not content to sit back. They want to see if they can take this one. Crossing off names on the server, but Trent, no more bullets. Has to commit to the reload. Time is ticking, and again the onus on him. He's got to push forwards here. No more time left to play for in a round like this. MIBR seal it up. Pistol round for them on that second half.
G2 with so much utility actually to commit to that retake, but decided to go on the triple flank after pushing out C. And I think Tex is just such a hero here. Finding the first kill is, about what you expect from him. But picking up a second onto George, it suddenly just takes all the sting out of this flank retake. And I love the more dynamic post-plant look. G2 will tend to drop into static holds where they're holding crossfires and high-low layered setups. MIBR taking a page out of the more aggressive book where you are looking to actively hunt the retakers and disrupt them. It's always more fun to watch, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Throws the opposition off their game, too.
Yeah, it's really tough to play against.
Yeah.
But it's harder to execute yourself. It's easier to make mistakes and overheat and give away your life in spots like that.
Yeah, for sure. MIBR clearly have been hard at work in the time off.
Well, Aspas has picked up the Marshal here, which is normally a sign that you want to feed this guy a bunch of kills and see if you can get up the ult for round 15. But he actually didn't get a kill or a death on the pistol. It's kind of weird to see a guy come into round 14 with no ult points.
And still, door opens up. Mazina's going to take that first contact with Leaf cleaned up. There's plenty more players where that came from. G2.
Clash on C as well.
Yeah, they're hovering around this direction. Texas actually opened things up over towards that C side, but I think this might be just a full speed ahead. Go ahead. And a quick cleanup, for the rest of the stragglers. G2 laying into the sidelines.
Some very weak players, but generally speaking, fairly clean for MIBR. They could afford to lose 1 player in the midst of all of that. And so the economy is going to be actually pretty good for their bonus.
Jungle still. Nice!
Zekin's more excited that they picked up the gun towards the end of the round. All right, I mean, absolute classic bonus round idea. Guys, we have weaker weapons, let's go B.
Let's go B. It's the rank classic.
It really is.
Got to call it, man.
Well, and that's why G2 have got a wall there.
Yeah, ready as well to respond. They do have players in position. Just in case. Smokes, Prowler. Second as well, looking to see if he can bait this one out. Open over towards the top. Aspas went a bit of a head of that one. Communication not quite clear, but the wall just completely cuts him out of the picture.
I think Zekin was pausing because he heard the wall right in front of him and got caught by the C's as well. But like you're saying, slight miscommunication on how they wanted to take that.
Harbor wall, just cheeky stuff. Cuts off any sort of attempt of a pivot over towards the C side. It's normally what you'd want to do if the B hit goes wrong.
Leaf's position is devious with the door open as well. You're just not clearing this properly, I don't think.
Tex might be considering it. Stun though and a peek. Ready to activate off of all that pressure.
Really nice trap.
Brown was good too. Was Trent's going to get the acknowledgement. Players are still lying in wait over towards B, but the door flipped open. Looking to see if he can gain some space over towards the C side. The Thorns detted. Bebe looking to play his life.
Still a slide available for Zekken here and a judge in hand.
Could do some damage.
Potential for chaos.
Yeah, and it looks like they want to fight even further forwards. Why not? Risks to be taken in a round like this. It's a bonus round. Might as well go for it, but lost through the wall on either side here. Zekken does have chances, opportunities potentially with that judge, but again, it's just backs against the wall. G2, you know they're going to be playing this disciplined style. Not going to let anything slip, but Zekken strikes when the iron's hot. Found that slightest of window opportunities and even picks up an upgrade in the process, but Jorgamo right from behind. Unanticipated, unexpected, and looks to be that insurance policy. Eventually cleaning up Mazzino, but Zekken's still a player in his own right. Looking to see if he can really take over. It's 3 in a round, he's healthy, he's got that rifle and plenty more bullets. Damage done, ISOing the fight, and Ace is available. Ready and waiting for the taking. Jorg will shut it down.
Almost an unbelievable moment from Zekken there. 18 and 11, looking super hot.
My God.
Jorgamo handles it towards the end, credit to him, but at the same time, yeah, look at this. Kind of, and in fact, I don't think he meant to commit with the blast pack. I think he might have put the blast pack down and tried to cancel it and just been stuck there. Anyway, the story of the round is what happened towards the end rather than towards the beginning. Valen's very happy that they ended up securing it. Of course he is, but the damage is still horrible.
Yeah, look at economy.
They won the round and they're having to eco. Yeah, that is never a good sign.
You've seen a judge, no armor, bandits online.
You could make an argument that Zekken's essentially won the previous round for them.
Yeah.
Doesn't go up on the top of the board, but it's almost as good as.
Big knock to the economy. G2 going for an aggro play of their own when they got the weaker buy. Deep towards A rubble.
I mean, wouldn't it be an amazing moment for Jorgamo to do something similar of his own?
He's got a rifle. Flip switched again.
Now Verno, you're the player with the spike.
You can't be doing that. Can't be doing that.
Through a slowing wall.
Yeah. Not ideal.
Well, that is nice from Mazzino, though. Utilizes the teleport to be able to get through the harbor wall, bait out the vice wall, and still get out. Perfectly played. Not a point of damage done either.
But still, on the other side of this one, that's Leaf waiting, judge in hand. He could do some serious damage to this one. Prowler forward, stun over the shoulder. Zekken's there, but even out. Horn dealt with on top of it. Trying to follow the sound cues, but not realizing that Tex has already inserted himself. He's found that lurk position. Jorg trying to get ahead of that. Sliding straight through it, and this guy is active as anything still. MIBR. Slam the door shut in their faces, now looking for that pivot option. Quick rotation and even faster plays on top of it. Valen is not letting them really get away with a thing. He's just trying to catch them unaware. But all handled, all accounted for. MIBR leading this map by 2.
Aspas even playing for the added bonus on top of being able to get the fun money and an extra ult for himself. Leaf getting outplayed in the judge v judge. Jorg nearly had his moment as well. He was the player with the hero rifle. Now G2 can buy again. They're behind by 2.
Nice!
Aspas went for the plant money, as I said, and the orb point in the previous round rather than trying to upgrade to a rifle. So he's coming in to this one with an outlaw. There are a bunch of targets, though, that he could go for with light armor.
Standard affair with a util. G2 not looking to opt into a bit of a rubble fight, just pushing back, breaking portions of it.
Bring them down.
Flash in left side.
Yeah, some.
Wait, I can get bait over here. Maybe. Oh, no.
Wait, I'm already have from B, guys. Ace looks good. Or you backside.
One more. I'm holding stairs. I'm holding stairs.
2 heaven remaining. 2
heaven.
Draw heaven.
Yeah, buddy. I'm gonna ult heaven after.
I'm coming back to you guys.
One drop. I'm ulting. One stuff drop. I'm ulting him.
Yep. Thorn stairs.
Drop. Nice.
He's deep one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hunt early.
Now. It's planted.
Damage? Any damage on him?
No.
Careful heaven. He can go heaven, Aspas. He can go heaven. I played like a pussy. They have no smokes.
I have your stairs, Aspas. You can hold sight.
Yeah, can you go here?
Let's do it like this. Perfect now. Perfect.
Guys, I first.
Put that flash somewhere.
He should save. He should.
Yeah, he should. This guy was hiding here, the neon.
Nice fucking round, guys.
I shit on this guy.
Yes, sir. It's my dog.
Good shit, bro.
Let's go, bro.
Got
working these dogs.
So
guys, they have harbor and
You can hear that. The comms from MIBR, I mean, it's interesting insight, isn't it? In the midst of all that chaos, they're looking to see if they can hunt down Baby, but it's all clear. The communication between all of them. Zekken as well, I love it. Silent duelist just running, taking liberties up and towards heaven.
Yeah, I mean, he knew that Verno was going to be looking to ult the guy, so I think he's looking to play off his teammates.
Yeah, and he knew he had a tie sheet.
Yeah. But it's nice to hear insight from the teams in spots like that. It did look pretty clean. And I like the way that they were optimizing in the post plan as well to make sure that they didn't get overwhelmed by anything. G2 are forced to take a timeout at the back of that too. This is the second time that they've been ecoed in this half. In as many rounds. And one of them coming out the back of a round that they won.
Yeah.
So really tough situation for G2. They looked like they were in control of this game at the very beginning. And since then, MIBR have basically just been all gas, no brakes. From round 6 onwards, G2 have only won 3 rounds.
Yeah, the pace has been unbelievable, to be honest. Finding the right moments to strike. Zekken sitting at 21 kills.
Yeah, just to loop it back to what Mimi was talking about on the desk. One of the big win conditions she had for G2, just in general, not necessarily in this match, but across stage 1, is that Jorg needs to prove that he is the neon guy that everyone associates him as, right? I think clips of him playing neon for EG a couple of years ago are just kind of like living rent-free in people's psyche. But Zekken's outplaying him here in terms of actual impact in the server. And, I mean, Zekken's an amazing player and an amazing neon, so the more opportunity MIBR have to be able to run him on this, it's going to be tough to hold a candle to.
Yeah. It really is when you're up against Zekken. He's lauded as one of the best players in Americas.
So is Leaf, by the way, but playing on a very off roll at the moment and not really finding that same level of value that you would expect from the guy.
If you're expecting a turnaround, it's probably not going to be around like this one for G2. What is that?
Rack him up.
Zekken!
He's just feasting.
I know G2's on a lighter buy, but it's just filthy mechanically.
Yeah. The devious stuff that Zekken was doing when Neon was first broken in that off season. I say broken, and I mean broken.
Yeah.
But we never got to quite experience the most busted version of Zekken's Neon, I think. So we may be in for a treat this stage.
He's locked in.
And the maps that we have today, if they're playing double duelist on Lotus, they are definitely playing double duelist on Split and Buy.
It just makes sense, right?
Yeah. Almost everyone is playing double duelist on these maps. Now maybe they'll swap it up. Maybe we'll see some Neon Waylay, for example, combined if we end up there.
Last player standing.
One kill to Baby, but we'll lose the rifle as a result of it. Does build up to his ult.
The ults are starting to get to a huge spot. And
considering both teams again.
Yeah, considering that this next round either puts MIBR at map point or breaks the economy of, well, and breaks the economy of G2. Both teams are going to be hyper invested to throw ults into the next round.
That is rapid decision making.
Yeah, lovely on-the-fly target selection too.
Immediately switches up, recognizing that the Neon wasn't going to be ready to respond.
Zekken pulls out a judge in this round. So they've got some specific game plan that they want to go for.
And we mentioned how important it is. Everything is on the line here. G2, it's all about staying into the game for MIBR, get themselves up to map point.
Rickham's close.
Yeah, but I made cricket, bro.
I'll probably here. Deep
front
B, behind the tide.
When this smoke fades, I'm gonna flash. You take your shot, okay?
Yep.
He may see the flash.
He's gonna walk through the wall soon.
Ready?
Flash.
3, 2. Raise.
Close. Might fight.
2.
B. Go.
Close, Neon. Backing up. Went stairs, no?
No.
Yo, try to break. I have ult.
Let's try to play close break. Break.
We're gonna split B.
In B.
I have the pivot.
Heaven with the shotgun.
I can ult.
In the heaven.
Stairs gap.
Fatal thing. I'm gonna fatal thing early. One in heaven smoke.
Should be Neon. I can stun it for you guys.
I'm gonna ult into break. We gotta retake.
We should go quick.
Sunny early.
Hell.
Still pit.
From B.
Pit. Nice.
Break with shotgun.
Break and B.
From B left side and break.
I'm gonna look for break kill.
He's gun. He's facing.
Covering the bomb. You're getting grabbed.
He ran away.
Heaven. Wait.
Break.
I heard a break.
Break. Double swing.
Wait, 3.
I'm just on.
Half.
Face.
Nice. Go, Jake. Go. Good round, Jake.
Let's go. Come on, brother.
That is one hell of a way to turn around like that. I mean, G2, backs against the wall. The site was entirely theirs for MIBR. And when we're talking about how important it was for the economy, listen, a couple of their players did end up dropping, but winning around, keeping it together.
When Aspas gets these two, I thought it was
I thought it was done.
Yeah. He takes down Jokuma and Baby Bay. Valen getting big value out of the kit too, though. By pushing these people completely out of the site with the Harbor ultimate, and then Cove on to be able to get a guaranteed half. But look at the timeline. That's only the 4th round that they've been able to get in so long.
You got to keep it going. One step at a time, one round at a time. Very aggressive, though. Off the rip here, it's a response to the util. Paranoia jumps forwards with that judge in hand, and he's skipping, hopping, taking the liberties with it now, and just trying to avoid the eye with a horn tagging up onto him. He's out of there.
What a movement.
Like a thief in the night.
Avoiding the value that Verno was looking to get. Tex on the other side of the map, trying to open things up, seeing if he can equalize things for MIBR. Baby Bay's just jump spotting this. Baby Bay also has ult. Would hate to go down in a spot. Looking to just play this one as slowly as possible.
MIBR looking to see if they can contact their way in, but not quite. Mazzino's got that paranoia off the contact, catching the players. DTP accounted for. Mazzino.
Almost a prediction aim there.
He's locked in. Knows exactly where these players are lying in wait as they look to retreat out of the side. It's G2 who've been cut to pieces.
And they know that Tex is lurking around somewhere behind too, so G2 have got to either up the pace really fast before Tex can get into position, or constantly be worried about their backs.
Still Garden, ult's expended
It's not
now.
great.
It's not great as a pocket to play in, and that means the rifles remain intact. Util's going to be swatted down out of their faces, and wall up to see if G2 can play in towards it. TP, Mazzino barely getting out of dodge, barely alive, but it comes down to the sharper shooting and sharper aim at that. Collecting up, corralling up these kills. The players are dropped just like that. MIBR, they find their way to that 12th round.
What a complete dismantling of that C defensive setup. G2, 2 players posted on top of it. A high-low, broken almost immediately. This is a 4v5 recovery from MIBR. That prediction from Mazzino as to where Leaf had disappeared to, and the fact that both of the defensive players split in opposite directions against the Paranoia.
Come on. I have to turn Verno up, hold on.
So those hours of Omen gameplay knows the limits of the agent. MIBR now on the precipice.
With an Aspas ult. And facing a double Bucky and a Sheriff, the buy is so bad.
Yeah, the Aspas ult is one thing, Zephyr over Judge is another. Deep TP, unaccounted for, not broken. Mazzino gets all that space towards back sight. Deep push, it's reactive plays. Texas making sure to account for it with Leaf dropped. He's cut out the picture now. Spike handed over.
Planted.
For G2, this round means everything, but they don't even have the weapons to do it. Gotta hope that mistakes are made. MIBR offer themselves up. As it stands, it's a stalwart defense. Line now. They've got those ults waiting, ready. Overdrive is popped just to see if they can show a bit of chaos. Damage is being done. Showstopper avoided. Jorg with that Bucky. It's 1 kill. Barely there with a second. It's damage done, but unfortunately, it might just be done. Baby Bay can only do so much in a spot like that. 13-8 is the finish. MIBR. Absolute blinding pace that they play Lotus at, and they take it away. The first map in this series.
The double duelist look for MIBR, so clean, and that's G2's map pick. A map that coming back into the pool is almost like home territory for G2.
Yeah.
And MIBR just kind of blasted them, to be honest. Ever since round 6, fully in control. G2, they've won 4 times in a row against MIBR, the last time that these teams have faced up against each other. It's a rematch of a 3-0 that we saw in kickoff. It feels different.
Yeah, it does feel different. It's time well spent for MIBR. They've been biding their time, preparing, scrimming, practice for this occasion. They're looking to go one step further, potentially get their revenge for what happened in kickoff. Don't go anywhere. This match has been explosive, and I know you don't want to miss it. one to think about and digest after that first map here. MIBR showing fantastic signs that they have really buckled down, I think, off the back of that break and just come out swinging against a G2 squad that, to be honest with you, I think the narrative that's really been following them from kickoff was them kind of trying to find their form, find compositions, find ways to make certain maps work. And we're seeing a continuation of it because the experimentation continues. Leaf is still on that controller. He's been playing the Astra. No Viper, critically as well.
Viper,
I mean, no Viper on Split with double controller is crazy stuff. That's crazy work.
I think that is kind of crazy work, yeah. Playing double smokes with Valin Harbor on both of these maps, they look like they're leaning really heavy into Harbor being good right now. Valin was great at playing the Harbor on Abyss at San Diego. I was very happy with that. But that's a map where we've already seen Harbor be really powerful. Running it on like a lot of maps in the pool is more questionable. Frankly, having a split match with no Viper on either side is crazy stuff. Yeah. But hey, if this is the world we're living in Americas, I guess we better get used to it quick. Baby on the Vice too, so yeah, if you're thinking about like how these teams are going to be looking to apply lurk pressure over towards A ramp, that's going to be a lot on trying to use pullback smokes, I guess, or go and take A ramp control early as part of your attacking default. I guess Valin should be able to put a bit of pressure there, but the problem with using Harbor to do that is that you know the Harbor has to be there.
I mean, that's the benefit of the Viper wall, is that you don't know if the Viper's there when they're putting the wall up.
Yeah.
It forces you to use util when the when you see a Harbor wall going up, you know
like, the Harbor's there.
Yeah, exactly. It's
so
all out.
Really interesting, different theory going to be shown in some specific areas of the map here. And we get to see G2 start out on the attack side with pressure on them, on MIBR's map pick as well. We were expecting this to be a very close game, maybe even being G2 favored. The predictions were split, actually, pretty much 50-50 between people. But G2 dominated last time they played by running double duelist, and that is not what they're opting for today.
No. MIBR, though, seems to be what they're going to be going for most of the time, at least, if this is any sort of indicator. No real presence in mid at all. MIBR have left it completely vacant, with the exception of just one wall up towards heaven.
Yeah, the wall gives them good information, but the question is, can Aspas get there to help Tex in time?
No playing off of it. Jorg is separated, isolated. Players are starting to get a bit of a move on now. The nade as well rebounds and pushes them back out into the extremities. MIBR looking to contain. There will be a retake from them.
Doesn't look like a retake comp, particularly, but they feel fairly happy doing it, I guess. No paranoia to work with, but they've got a stun for Zekken and a horn for Verno.
You could see the pace turned up very quickly at that. As you said, the util's being layered down. This is a defense that G2 are looking to try and hold on to, at least onto this site. The bodies starting to come out now, swinging wide, taking the fights together, and that's where MIBR are going to be thriving here. Aim needs to be good. Tex is just lighting them up at this point. The pull baited out nice and early in his crossfire setup, accounted for, skipping, hopping, and twirling in the air. It leaves it all down to Leaf. It's 100 HP, damage done to Tex, and Tex, though,
wow,
he's a one-man army.
It's really clean. And they even optimized to be able to get in the ult point towards the end too, with less than 2.5 seconds on. I think it's so interesting coming out of the coach interviews as well, Brad. And Josh Artie's talking about how their lesson learned from San Diego was it's about the team fighting. It's about how well you play off each other and with each other. Well, MIBR were way better on that round than G2 were, actually.
Give it to you.
They're like a death ball. They're a death ball roaming through, picking people off, always having advantage fights. Here's the force, though, from G2.
Okay. Got the plan down. Why not? Spend the money. Make it work. Airplane Bucky in the hands of Jorg. Spectre, a couple of stingers, looking to see if they can really do some damage here. Offload him with a util now. That's a wall that's going to be flying forwards and does split up, segment up the site quite nicely here, but the Thorns are going to be deaded early enough, seeing if they can put a stop to it. And G2 not looking to commit. Waiting on the other side of things as well as Zekken with that judge. Calling for the pause though, has pulled his MIBR players away. They're now looking to explore up towards mid again. And puts the pressure onto Tex. He's going to be the one sitting up towards that backside. Does have the wall still, and it hasn't been triggered. Now finally there, Jorg is just trying to find a way to play his team back in, but he is completely separated! And Zekken is there responding off of that pressure. Spraying and hailing down those bullets. These G2 players, lucky to be alive, they are being shredded to pieces.
You imagine that these force buys, in my opinion, must be working better when they run the double duelist comps as well. Because you can just burst into sites.
Yeah, but doing it against the Vice as well, I mean...
It's so strange because G2's comp doesn't feel like a burst comp, but in my opinion, it doesn't feel like a slow lurky comp either, because they don't have the Viper. So I'm thrilled to see as this half continues what the theory looks like. But right now, Bruno and Mazzino set up to destroy them.
What is that? It's a crossfire setup. Bullets are rattling on either side here, but that's a spike drop down into the laps of MIBR. No time to work with for Baby Bay. So, failed attempt at a force. That is going to be cutting the economy back quite a degree for G2.
Yeah, it's not great.
MIBR, everybody survives.
I think the silver lining for G2 is that they didn't just feed a bunch of kills directly into Tex, who was the closest to being able to generate his ultimate coming out of the pistol round. But there's an eco round coming up for G2, and so there's plenty of opportunity for Tex to work up to that Steel Garden anyway. I think if MIBR get big ults online, like Aspas or Tex is, it's time to be a little bit worried about how this half is going already. G2 lent heavy into the variance there.
Beginning util, similar scenes to what we saw in the previous round, only this time G2 looked towards mid. I think this is the better option when you're up against the Vice. Got to see if you can work the map a little bit, pull the util out, make MIBR worried that you could have taken control. They've got this one set up. It's two players held down up into the vents, and Jorgenmore peeks this alone. He's going to be bitterly disappointed, but he does have a Bucky. Close quarters combat, that's where it's going to be thriving. Might be looking for the call now, but just jiggling, biding and waiting.
I mean, at some point they are going to drop into the vent. Look where the spike is
3, 2,
going.
1. They're calling for it off the ropes, but it's disjointed. I'm not sure what happened there.
Don't know. Was that supposed to be a fake jump?
Oh, it's weird.
I don't know.
Wasn't together though. Wasn't synced up. That was really the only danger play that G2 could piece together. It was a fight that was potentially offered up for them. The util bogging them down. MIBR stunned up, but they've got plenty more where that came from. It's damage done. Trent's still kicking.
In an ideal world, you do want to have Tex pick up this kill, but you don't want to give Trent too much time to make something work.
No, 25 seconds.
You still got to give him some respect.
Yeah, and this is an isolated fight. Mazzino, he's alone here. No one else to play with as he's being spotted. Crosshair placement. Barely off by millimeters there, but it's Mazzino to clean him up. 3-0. As we expected.
It's the same silver lining though again. They still haven't built up to any kind of massive ultimate that they could use in this next round, the rifle round. But thus far, I haven't really seen anything that's making me super convinced as to what G2's game plan is on this attack side. So this next rifle round, I think, is really important. The G2 showcase that they've got something going with this comp.
They set the sights over towards A.
Well, I said that A ramp pressure as part of your default is going to be really important for both of these teams, because they don't have lurky ways of going and taking it. These are the recall smokes. Oh, this one actually a full deployment of the Astra smoke.
So using the Astra interim in place of the Viper where they would normally be lying, and now you can take a bit of space over towards A, but MIBR been so good with these setups. Again, look at Tex. He's moved a lot of his util. He's already deaded it nice and early off the back of that pressure from that util. The wall. It's cheeky. Maybe deaded, potentially splitting them up. Draw him over the top. That's the judge in his hands. Quick work. Zeno is going to be sent straight back to that spectator's seat. It's an opening kill advantage now to G2. Look at slow things down once more.
Yeah, now that the wall is broken, MIBR are actually missing a lot of information. Aspas is stuck.
Yeah, he's caught in the corner and needs some sort of bailout, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it. There was util waiting. Baby Bay just offers himself up anyway. Looks to see if he can take that kill. Tex lying there, but Baby Bay sharp. Make sure to dismiss it. Here in the drop down. This is just ridiculous.
Using the ropes to glide around there.
Go, go, go.
Having fun with it at this point. Zekin, not much you can do in a spot like that. So G2.
What a turnaround.
Yeah, it's a good answer back. It's flawless from them.
And actually, they're the ones now looking closer to getting big ultimates online. They've managed to funnel a lot of the points towards Baby Bay, towards Trent. Can potentially look to play for an ult over here and get a big execute going. This round, Jorgenmore did a lot, to be honest, though. I mean, a bit of fake pressure over towards A, pivot into A ramp.
Let's go, boys. Good round. Let's go.
Generating picks off the back of the Neon with the judge. Tex with the same kind of setup, anchoring over towards A, but this time with both of the duelists.
Yeah. You're looking significantly weaker. Oh, this beginning util was just sent flying out from G2. Line drop down, Verno.
This is so bold.
That's incredibly brave. I mean, you have full fade util. You could use some of it, but no. She wants to peek up into the angle.
Bring them down. I have the spike.
Now looking back towards that mid pressure for G2.
I don't quite understand the defensive setup of having your Neon with the Judge in front of you, all your Vice util. But they must have been convinced that G2 were going to go for some A-ramp default again. Verno is getting constant information that they are outside B main.
I mean, this is so brave. Nowhere to trade him out from a spot like this. He needs his one, potentially more, just to get the hell out. Prowler broken.
It makes it feel like there's more people here.
Exactly, it's so bold. They're thinking, why the hell would there be just one? But still G2, they activate. Cracking open the angles up towards heaven, and now that puts the pressure onto Verno. Finds his one, but eventually traded. Caught between a rock and a hard place, and knifes out. Jogamo's way ahead of it. Timing's unaccounted for, with Zeket now going to be dropped. Tex has to look back in dismay as the round has just unraveled.
Yeah, I don't really know what MIBR were cooking with this defensive setup. I think it just left way too much on Verno's plate. They also hard contested B Heaven off the back of a single raise nade that didn't actually put too much pressure on G2. And G2 got fed 2 easy kills up there at B Heaven. It didn't honestly matter how hard Verno played that round. Even if he killed both in B main, I still don't think MIBR were winning that one. Kind of served up an easy opportunity for G2 to get back into split here.
Back-to-back, heavily impactful rounds in Jorg.
Yeah, look at this. I think a bit too forced from Aspas and Mazino in B Heaven. Thinking the nade was going to give them free space, or at least relying on the fact that they could win a duel. And now the economy's in a bad spot. What a recovery for a team that lost the pistol and a force buy. They're now in a position where they should be drawing.
Yeah, it's kind of unheard of. But G2 have done well. Put themselves in a position like this, and this time they don't use that overload of util over towards B main. They just contact in all the way.
Go, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Sucking backside.
Nothing backside.
One B Evan, one B Evan. They're flooding
backside. Nothing, we're good. We have sight, boys.
Save your thorn, save your thorn.
Yep,
nice.
I'm saving it.
Look
Planning
at
for
my
heaven, guys.
Guys can fight left with the flash.
I'm walling, I'm walling.
That's good. Okay, they're
They
gonna
have Visol. They're gonna Visol.
I have Neon, I have Neon fingers.
Go right. Go right.
Face your fear.
All for my flash to fight left. Hell. Fight right.
Wait, 3, 2, 1. Oh, default. Heaven, he's in the smoke.
I'm chilling. Playing around the smokes.
Raptor, guys.
One hell.
I'm giving that smoke.
I'm not. I'm playing soft. Harden, never mind. Raptor, I'm flashing. Good smoke. Raptor, drop. Nice! Come on! Go, boys. Let's go!
Damn, we just had so much stall there, bro. Holy shit.
Burn a lot of ults. What?
It's disbelief on the face of Trent towards the end. I mean, that was chaos. I mean, Leaf said it best, I think, at the end. They had so much stall util.
Yeah, they did. I mean, great call. I can't remember exactly who went for it to tell Babybear to save the Thorns. I think he was already ahead of that. So Thorns saved to slow them down in the post plant, and Babybear's making the comm. Tell me when you want the flash as well. You see the flash just there on the stream. At the newsstand, ready. You know, it ended up getting smoked off, but they're very much thinking about how they want to delay that. And to be honest, there weren't even that many comms in the middle of the team fight because they weren't taking contact with MIBR until super late. And they were all playing inside the smokes.
The smokes on smokes.
Yeah. But a nice post-plant hold for G2. If you let them into the site, this is going to be a difficult comp to retake against. And like I said, I don't think either of these teams are particularly playing retake compositions. Maybe you could argue that G2 are going to be able to flood defend off the back of a harbor wall here and there.
Sure.
But generally speaking, I'm expecting both of these squads to look to either want to fight in front of the sites if you're MIBR, or have people fairly heavily anchor. And MIBR have been letting them get in a bit too freely, I'd say.
Yeah, adjustments need to be made. That's why the timeout's called. And you're right. I mean, at the beginning of these few rounds, we were seeing MIBR really posturing hard over towards that B main angle. They were fighting tooth and nail. Verno at some point was alone doing it.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is a bit weird about the way that we're seeing MIBR's idea of having Zekken play the Neon and Aspas raise, I mean, it fits them like a glove, but it is going to make Aspas's op just a little bit more difficult to play.
Sure.
You want this guy to have an op in his hand quite a lot on the defense sides here, but he's not really playing op characters.
And speaking of, Baby, he's getting a ton of work done. A lot of value in kickoff for this operator. Role was a little bit more suited, but this time attack side, lurking up and mid-presence. Recall at the start, MIBR ahead of it, looking to re-clear up a bit of the map, clear up the question marks, but it goes on either side. Pure contacting. They hear an abundance of this Vice util. The wall up as well, causing issues, but Jorgemont just slips to the side and Tex. He just got a glimpse, but he made sure to make the most of it. The deep TP into the back. I mean, Leaf, not even a TP, he's just sprinted forwards and around, and he's broken the ankles a second. None the wiser. G2 already snapping to the side. A lot of damage done with those pellets, but this is pure anarchy. And it's MIBR looking to see if they can piece and peer through the fog.
It's a 3v3 and there's a Vice wall up at the top of A Heaven here, so Tex knows that they can't be deep.
Tex trying to go for that one, just gets the one before the trade is intact, and now it's a 2v2.
Whichever direction G2 go, it's going to put pressure on Aspas or Verno. One of them's got to be the hero.
Oh.
And Baby Bay's op sings out again for the second time on a very similar angle.
G2 perfectly happy to pressure a lot, cut noise, wait for the fight to come to them, wait for the reaction of MIBR. But Verno, a lot on his plate. And chance for the timing. He's adjusting the aim a little bit with the movement there. Now just making sure that he's not that easy target. Nightfall, Prowler, all going to be used. Baby Bay isolating this, sighted, but he has that shorty. Trent's going to go for the plant. Time pressure. Hard commits to it. Baby Bay jiggling, feeling uncertain. Verno looking for it now to seize. Lay it down at his feet. He just needs his kill and he needs it now. Lighting him up. Highlighted. Leaves it into the 1v1, but that is a rapid reposition, and I think it's unaccounted for.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Trent playing into the main angle. Plant might not even be for him. 5 bullets.
He's tried to fake like he's dropped as well, and Trent is not buying it.
Still holding on to that space and time. Really starting to mount. The pressure's there. Verno's running out of outs. Got to make moves now because this is it. The chopping blocking around like this. Got to go for the whole stick. Here's the footsteps, but again, it's Trent who plays it perfectly. Time pressure just a little bit too much to overcome.
And Verno can't keep the gun either. Yeah, G2 are doing such a good job in these moments of being able to create something out of nothing, is how I'm going to put it. Because in this spot, how on earth is Leaf being able to pick off second at the back of the site?
He full sprinted into the back of Albo.
As an Astra, by the way.
Yeah.
Baby Bay also coming up clutch with a couple of big shots.
Nice, go Trent, nice shot.
And then delaying Verno for long enough that Trent can win the clutch. I think MIBR are looking a lot less confident and comfortable in taking re-clear fights. We saw them run quite a lot of trap refights on Lotus, where they were catching G2 off guard. And they just haven't looked as hot with those here.
Yeah. The money is taking a bit of a tumble here for MIBR. I mean, they can force a couple of rifles, but Aspas has no armor. Second, of course, has the overdrive. Can play with the bucky. It's not the best. It's really bottom of the barrel that's being scraped up. Haunt? No one there to break it.
I think Second was expecting Verno to break that for him.
Flash and a peek. Tex. Be careful about it. Util's being handled and accounted for. It's a good bait at the wall. Leaf even managed to pick off Verno. Up the gut through mid.
Second down to 2 HP as well. Leaf doing so much.
Yeah, the uncertainty continues here for MIBR. These little pressure plays that G2 are finding. Across the map. Bit of noise. And then cutting all sound cues, forcing MIBR the ones to react, make moves, and now going into a bit of an A split. There's a lot of space here for Baby Bay. Not too sure if he's aware of the fact that they do have 2 players anchoring towards the side, but now spotting them and elbow towards it. That's so much damage. That second overdrive was unleashed in his hands, but he was low as anything. Will be put back to rest. 2v4.
Valen deleted Mazzino in the midst of all of that. And now Aspas got to make something happen. Doesn't realize his back is open to Leaf.
Yeah. Leaf doesn't even have to strike at this timing. Playing this position, he's the insurance policy. Doesn't want to show himself, doesn't want to give it up just yet. Just making it so damn uncertain. That is snappy stuff. Potentially a jump scare, but now time to strike is nigh. 5-3, G2. It's a string of rounds they put together now.
Yeah, and it's also much, much bigger value coming out from Jorgemont and Leaf. I got to remind people that this is MIBR's map pick. The maps have felt like the opposite team has getting stronger. This was a weird way of playing the refight over through mid. Zeken just trying to distract as much as he could. Credit to Leaf, though. He keeps his crosshair trained on the guy behind.
Sick him, boy! I just accidented.
That might be the vibe differential, I think.
Did you hear Leaf at the end there as well? He just said that he got the accidental kill on Verno. I was giving him credit.
Got to be careful about this one, though. All propped up. What a defense. Valen protecting the back of his comrade. Zeken's normally quite a cerebral player. Will look to jump off the chance when he's on the weaker guns. If he thinks there's a pocket to play in, window of opportunity to strike. Glide to the side, looking to clear, dissecting up most of this heaven angle. A lot of players to account for, though, and Straw going down out towards that back area. There's 3 players looking to flood in. MIBR trying to really see if they can make anything of this, but now Leaf has been left isolated. It's a good swing. Pieced together there. Satchel across to cut up the crosshair placement by Aspas, but now they've got a little bit more to chew through. Involves the name of Baby Bay. Deep insert.
Yeah, look how quick G2 were there to just spread around the map. As soon as they realized that MIBR were bunched up trying to take a team fight in A Heaven, G2 reacted by taking all of these little pockets. Trent and Baby Bay spread out so fast to absorb that map control. It was a light buy round for MIBR, but they are running out of rounds to play with in this half. Only 3 left.
Des was talking about it. We needed to see big performance, a turn up from Jordan himself. He's sitting at the top now, 9 and 5.
With 3 first bloods as well in the first 7 rounds. So, you know, he's definitely getting them that early round impact too. Aspas finally with an op. Finally with a showstopper.
It's online to make a difference. Same util, standard affair here from G2, looking to see if they can fly forwards though, and there will be nothing to stop them. No semblance of the util, Jorgamo not turning around, he's got a lot of space, but spam down, and that's just off the radar. He spotted where he was on the mini-map, but all from that pressure. Text towards the back again.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic information from Verno. It looks goofy from his position, but he just gets to tell Tex that is a fake, 100%.
Just pinging it out.
Yeah, he gets to, I mean, he tells his team to be able to pressure Jorg, but other side of the map, Tex is super ready for this.
Yep, very ready. MIBR looking for a clean close to a round like this. If they don't use any ults, even better.
Don't cess.
G2, no slouches. They're going to be looking to find ways back in, but they are heading straight into that Vice setup once more. Not just that, plenty of players waiting in the wings.
It's a bit of an awkward wall to try to bait out, but they've been doing a good job with it.
Smoke gets them into the
30 seconds
area.
left.
Seconds holding to one side of this. Going to be waiting for it to dissipate, and as it does, looking to see if they can strike. G2 waiting, biding their time for now, without a flash and the peek and a spray down from Tex. Controlled in the chaos. 4 kills for him.
Had a great day today, hasn't he?
It's a really good turnaround.
Looking very comfortable in these anchor spots over towards A. Been moving it around as well, but mostly situated on the A side of the map. Verno cooked them in this round. Yeah. And like you said, they get to keep the ults, so they now have a Vice ultimate.
It was lovely, but we got it done.
Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up.
I'm playing it.
All business in the comms.
Tex confirming that he's going to anchor A again this round.
Yeah.
So Aspas gets to take an early peek in mid.
So as an operator, this is just blind fire straight through the smokes. Valen getting the better of Zeken. Looking to hold down an area towards this. The thorns are going to be broken. Smokes propped up. Prowler. Aspas forced to rattle off a shot, so warning them, and that is a cheeky play.
Yeah, he's going for the Forsaken push.
Yeah, seen that one before.
Verno gets caught dead to rights.
Someone have to play off the back of this. This is a showstopper now going to be used, expended, looking to see if he can find that target. Jorg is down for the counter around like this. Fake pressure on fake pressure, but another ult is lying in wait with that Steel Garden. Slight pocket. Narrowly avoided, sidestepped for now, but the wall is a bit of a greater risk. It goes up both ways though with that Steel Garden. That's enough, it buys a lot of time, even for that Cosmic Divide to dissipate. G2 once again call for the pause, but MIBR trying to get ahead of it. All grouped up, 3 players looking to strike, but Aspas has only got an op to make this. It's an aggro play. risky business, and these players are so damn unaware. Cove activated, hardened now, but now we'll see what they can do as it dissipates soon enough. 30 seconds, noise is being made, and now it is blinding fires, crossfire set up, MIBR! They take control of the situation. Baby Bay's got so much to do from a spot like this, but G2 were not expecting that.
That's such a silly end. The G2 players crouch walking in, being very, very sneaky. and then somehow when the Cove drops, all three of the MIBR players find a target. You know, at no point were they... It really did look like Leaf had no clue that there was going to be players on the other side of it.
Nice comms.
Pieced together. They found one win con in a round like that. Now we're looking at potentially a similar affair to the beginning of Lotus.
This would be a ridiculous recovery from MIBR though.
It really would. Maybe in up the first 3 rounds, but they were down and out for the count beyond that, so they are dragging it round by round. Jorgemore not firing off the judge just yet. Prowl's getting broken for him. He's been whittled down to 36 health. Not the most to deal with. Offer's going to be spotted and heard out. Now's that overdrive now going to be used. Nightfall. We can see if he can sidestep it, but it is going to get that tag. Collecting onto a multitude, overwhelming these anchoring players. Mazzino is going to be done and finished. Zekan trying to play the rest of his team in, but might not even need it now. It's taken over control over towards that ramp area fully in the hands of MIBR. They have that heaven angle, and now putting and applying the squeeze entirely. It is picture perfect. The retake protocols online and the aim even truer. Valent and Trent have got a lot to do from this spot. Backs to the walls, rocks and a hard blaze. Barely there, almost able to control that rifle in time, but it's MIBR who round out the half 6-6.
That's the first round where MIBR actually looked like the retake was working well for them. Zekan stunning for Aspas to be able to peek off the back of it. They take some elbow control. Aspas outplaying Leaf over here towards A-ramp as well to give them some space. But in terms of the scoreline, if you just looked at the rifle v rifle rounds, G2 were the better team here in the first half.
They were cooking.
But because MIBR managed to win the pistol and stop the force buy from G2, they've managed to come back and even this one.
Could be anyone's game. We'll find out on the other side of this.
Not much longer now, and I will also take to the skies.
Me too.
You? No, you will always be a worm.
Just wait and see.
Red Bull gives you wings.
As we get a second half underway, make sure to hit up expressvpn.com/VCT for rewards and advanced and pro plans now. And Express really being the key word here, because this has been, honestly, incredible pace that we're seeing these two teams play at, beginning to end. And it's been reactive as well. I think they've been adjusting to the right things. G2 with their fast explosiveness, cutting noise, forcing the reaction at MIBR. And it's been even. These teams are definitely each other a match for one another.
Yeah, I was actually impressed with the way that G2 were able to force such sloppy moments out of MIBR and punish them for it by taking space, especially over towards A. I think they made up for the lack of Viper in their composition pretty well, and now we get to see shoe on the other foot, really. MIBR with a double duelist composition, you'd expect to play at a higher tempo rather than adding in those stutter steps and the pump fakes that Valen was constantly calling for. But it's the MIBR duelists that we'll be looking towards, Zekken and Aspas, to open these rounds up.
Gearing up to do some damage here. Not much in the way of a defensive setup. G2. One set of thorns. Trent waiting towards the back of the site. Look at the anchor with just that ghost in hand. He does have the benefit of an additional player.
Yeah, I mean, look at that choke point. You've got to get through thorns, a pull, and a harbor wall. I mean,
that's a nasty wall.
That looks horrendous.
Yeah.
MIBR instead go at mid, and this is where a Vice Splash is. So G2 wanted to fight them early on. They've given up on that game plan, though.
All the way forwards, though. Zekken looking to see if he can play his team all the way in. Valin receives all that danger and more. Lights up the opposition. Mazzino, not to be outdone, not to be outshone. And now we're seeing him already find a lot of space, but the spike is out of reach.
Yeah, good discipline from Trent. Completely resetting out of this fight.
Yeah.
They aren't actually contesting the spike pickup, though, apart from Leaf.
Leaf is hopping across, looking to see if he can get a bit more information. Shots are fired, so now gets that acknowledgement. Mazzino has got to try and piece this together bit by bit, but time fading away.
It's a robbery.
Yeah, he does pick up the spike just right beneath their noses, and now we're seeing him see it's a bit of a mad dash, a scramble to see if they can ISO where this player is. It is messy towards the end, but cleaned up for G2 in their favor. Pistol round goes a long way.
And Valin the hero, being able to, I mean, the protocol to shut down the B-pop, that looked like a nightmare to try to commit to that one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the trend was alone.
Spike down mid.
Yeah, it's just a Thorns move up onto the high ground perch, and then a harbor wall rips its way across mid.
Yeah, the harbor wall is really nice in the sense that you can play off-site and still provide help to somebody that's playing on-site, but it's the pull as well to me that's just a nightmare to get through.
Yeah.
And that's the value of having the Astros in these compositions. It is going to be tough for these double duelists playing against a Vice. This is one of the big reasons why people are back to playing Senti. And there's the value of the Outlaw too.
So we're going to post it up. Quick two-piece. Zekken and Tex, two of the higher performing players, so immediately shuts them down out of the fight. It is an eco round.
Yeah. Now, the way that G2 were previously playing with their former composition, Jorgmo was just allowed to do whatever he liked in B main on defense. He was solo holding that, stun re-clearing it, sometimes pushing out aggressively to wrap around if the attackers were going for an A hit. I'm interested to see if Jorg is allowed to play with the same level of freedom with this version of the comp. Because G2 should not, I think, be playing as aggressively with this comp, but it gives you so much stall on the other side of the map. If Jorg ever sees a moment where he thinks he can push, I think he could get crazy value out of it.
Yeah, he might just take it.
He's never going to miss a timing, is he? Because you've got, you know, Vice Util and Pull to try to get through on the other side of the map.
Yeah, stars layer down on top of it. Trent perfectly willing to give them access to at least a portion of the site. That's a bit of a team blind. That's unfortunate.
We'll be workshopping that one.
Yeah, possibly so. Leaf, though, looking to see if he can fill in the gaps on all the extremities here. Once more misstep, but no casualties on the side of G2. It is flawless.
Yeah, it's completely clean. A much better start to the half for G2 compared to what was going on at the beginning of their attacking setup.
See that one again. That is quick reactions.
One enemy remaining.
Two players coming into the next round with light buys in terms of the armor.
I don't know, bro. How did my right? It's life, bro. How does life happen?
Dude.
Yeah, I have a judge.
Gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah, that's a defense to use if you ever get.
That's life, man.
Yeah.
Mess up your util.
That's life, bro. Deal with it.
That's life. Things happen. When you were mentioning it, two players on the light armor. Just the one now, actually. Ended up buying up.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Yeah, realizing that, of course, the Outlaws in play. They know that. They don't want to be giving any freebies at all to Jorg. He's posted up.
There.
Mid-angle, players by his side.
And that flash to play off, too. This is the same flash that they were going to use on the pistol round. I mean, look.
It's another disaster in the making, I have to say.
It's a danger.
It is.
Now, I thought it was going through the wall.
No. That is going to blind Jorgmo.
No. Jorgmo's going to get the pick of the elbow before the flash. No, it blinded Jorgmo.
It did indeed, but still, it's going to be going both ways, and overloaded a util to see if they can account for it, but this is two players now caught into a corner. MIBR, see what they can do. Swing out off the back of the horn. A lot of pressure and a lot of damage. 10 HP. Second. Looking to see if he can just jump onto the heels of it. He is traded out. Trent just with the stinger, but the fight's coming to him. Tex Almost lucky with a moment there, just walked straight back into it, and it's left Leaf in an impossible position.
With the judge in hand as well. It's not the weapon that you want when you're looking to retake. Can he find some level of upgrade? There must be a rifle up here.
Yeah, surely. He's looking around, he's hunting for it. 3 players tucked onto the side. There's a lot of damage done.
He doesn't like the skins on the floor.
No, still, I mean, listen, this judge could do work against Verno from long range. I'm not even kidding. He'll go down to it.
All right.
Found the gun in the end, though.
He finally found one. It's got an MIBR body on it. Yeah. That's why he didn't want to go for it earlier.
Sure, yeah. Not really in a position to be picky. Smoke's in his face. And at this point, calculating, should I even go for this? Players are weak, but a rifle might be even better.
Got it. Pulling damage.
Oh, just looking to do damage.
Yeah, looking to do damage. Time. Pressing up against them here. No real way for Leaf to win this one, but was hoping to hunt for a couple of more exits, realizing how tenuous the economy was for MIBR.
Mazzino does a good job there of helping Verno escape.
Yeah.
Definitely a chance that a bullet through a wall could have taken down the IGL. And now a little bit of stability. The G2 have been wanting to brawl early on here in mid. I think they're trying to... I think they're trying to condition that MIBR cannot just take free mid control.
Yeah.
One of the things that MIBR were actually doing quite poorly, you could argue, on their defense side was giving mid a bit too freely until Aspas got his op up and started playing around there.
Right there.
But in a round like this, they just drop back, hoping that that early aggression is going to make MIBR scared.
Brave from Mazzino. Look to see if he can square up to a lot of this.
Obscuring vision.
Neon close B.
They're up down today.
No, we have 4 Haven. Take A.
Yo, it's Vise. It's Vise today, guys. It's Vise today.
You have 4 Haven.
Yep. Yo, splitting the Vise to spawn is insane.
Yeah, we're splitting Vise to spawn.
He's already close. That was an up-down guy.
Yeah. Okay.
It's only 2. It's Astra, Vise here. They're gonna go
Neon
bunker
B,
site.
Neon
They're gonna
B.
bunker site right now.
We can
I'm gonna swing lower.
Yeah.
They're doing mid. They're not facing. I'm contacting.
Yeah, bomb burn.
You want to smoke their burn on you?
Yeah, can you get smoke?
Yeah.
Can you guys pressure? Maybe Aspas gets a kill.
They're pressuring now. One spawn.
Right there, where's the A player? I have already.
Map and spawn. Spawn.
But they have no spawn info. They have no spawn info.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at spawn.
One site, one spawn. Nading map.
Back, map still.
You're solo Aspas now?
Spike carrier
Two
down.
of it.
30 seconds left.
You want man, you want man.
Down A.
Nice.
Last player standing.
My bad.
Flawless. I'm out of here.
Well, the round might not have gone in their favor, but I have to say, I'm impressed with Zekken. The dead comms were going crazy.
Yeah.
He is going for the entirety of the team there, but G2 are the ones that shut it all down.
Yeah, G2 had a nice read just to get themselves into a position. I mean, you can hear them calling as well that Leaf was one of the up-down players, which means that
One enemy remaining.
kind of hold up is broken.
Come on!
They're then coming that they go back into a more bunker position, but I think they didn't quite realize that Leaf was happy to take a fight over towards screens and stop Verno from taking all of that space. G2 back in control.
Yeah. At this point, the economy out of sorts here for MIBR, looking to see if they can scrap together whatever they can in a round like this. Raring to go. A lot of stall util. You can already see it being expended. A horn not broken. Zekken is just left to the wolves. Valino will light him up. All sort of action are going to be kicking off, and as Baby wants to see if he can piece it together, find a few more of his own. It's 3 in a round. He's going to be squared up to, but Trent has his back over the shoulder. Up to 10 now for G2.
Yeah, they're looking strong here. It's a map that they were pretty good at with the previous composition as well, and it does seem to be favoring them. They've got a unique read. It's really unusual the way that they're playing. I don't think you'll see too many people pick up this comp, but it seems to vibe with the slightly slower pace that we're now seeing from G2. Yeah. Dangerous that they could potentially be running the fast or slow tempo against you.
Come on, bro! The fuck?
Excuse me?
You're going to mute that one.
MIBR are going to take a tag time out here. They've got to adjust. Something different has to happen. And I think that these faster rounds, I think if you see MIBR play with this comp against a lot of other teams, they are going to be doing a lot of pops. You know, this composition on the attack side just screams we wanted to be doing fast execs into sites. But against G2's comp, you can't do that.
You got the Astra util, you got the Harbor Walls coming in from long range, you got the Thorns set up as well.
Yeah, maybe you could do that if you are really heavy faking it at the beginning of the round, resetting into a default and then popping.
Yeah.
But just going for these early round pushes, you saw how isolated Zekken got in that moment. There is no hope if you do that kind of thing. So Fraud's taking the time out here, getting in touch with the Brain Trust and trying to see if there's a way that they can crack into this.
Yeah, working mid could be an option. But I think you're right on the money. You've got to try and work the map, pull out the util, piece together where the setup is early, find out where the vice is.
Yeah, it's very tough. It can be very tough. We haven't been in a meta where Sentinels are getting played for a while as well.
No, it's, yeah, I mean, they're coming back in vogue, I suppose, right?
They definitely are,
A lot of the Neon play. It's one of the best ways to stop and stunt a Neon from just running you down in your sight.
Yeah, and especially now that you can't have the Yoru that just gives you so much information. It's one of the better ways of getting info around the map as well on defense side.
G2, heavy setup and presence from them. That's 4 players. Looking towards that mid avenue.
Yeah, because now you know coming out of attack timeout, there is a 0% chance that Fraud has called for a site drop.
Jorgamo, it's going to be cleaned up. It's an instant response. Aspas takes a hit clean off. A lot of util though is going to be used. And even an ult expended as a steel guard, and Baby putting the pressure and applying it, exerting it, but this could be just dissipated. MIBR happy to take a step back and pause this early on in the round.
Love the adjustment coming out of the tactical timeout. Here's the pressure onto Tex.
Never reclear though. Tex might be sorely disappointed. Yeah. Valen squares up, postures against it, wins the fight out. If he didn't, the trade was probably intact at least afterwards.
Throwing in a little shoulder peek into it as well. Mazzino knows that there's a wall here, but doesn't feel confident enough to try to bait this out. Are they just going to 3-2-1 across?
It has to be clean. Everybody together here. Mazzino's been left behind.
Goodbye, Mazzino.
Yeah, luckily the spike in the hands of Aspas.
And he will have a showstopper if he plants. So a safe plant, guaranteeing that the spike gets down and the ult gets out.
There's win cons. Definitely win cons here for MIBR. Looking to get ingrained in these positions. Tight looking up towards heaven there. There's Zekken. Looking to see if he can put a stop to it. The ult just skips straight past him, so he's not going to be blinded up here, and he could be the playmaker here and now. Here in a drop down, looking to activate that showstopper. Buying a bit of time. This is G2 that can't afford to play into this one. They're going to let that fuse drop, and eventually the rocket flies forwards. That will give them the right time now to strike forward, press the advantage, but they're already being faced. MIBR, they're not letting anything said and done. This is fights taken, full throttle altogether.
Once MIBR get to the site, they can convert these rounds. Beautiful play, by the way, from Zekken, getting deep inside that smoke. Even waiting for a second one. Yeah. Almost looked like he'd unplugged his mouse. he's just waiting for the second guy, knowing that Valen will never look behind him in that situation. But also the timing of the showstopper perfect so that everybody else was cancelled from coming in. This is not a retake comp really for G2. They want to be holding you at the door. So if you manage to get in, you've conquered more than half the battle. And I think Tex's ultimate should allow them possibly another entry in the mid-round into a site.
A lot of pressure on Jorg from a spot like this. Smoked off, though. That operator in hand is not quite ideal.
I think this was meant to be a default to bait out the wall. They realized the wall isn't there, and they were thinking, should we go for it? Should we go for it? They decided to kind of cancel that and reset, but now they haven't accomplished one of their goals, which was to bait out the Vice utility. They did get the wall out of Valen, though.
The Vice Wall sitting still intact in mid. MIBR will be able to hear signs of life from it. They walk steadily up to this angle. Prowler, a couple of stray shots. Baby not scared to fight back.
Baby Bay knows that they are going to be jump peeking that wall, so he is trying to punish them.
There it is. Thorns are going to be dead nice and early, seeing if he can diffuse a lot of this pressure. Zekken's already. The stun from long range. That is supportive util from Jorg. Calling for the pause though. Now MIBR going to look to get a bit more of a move on Valen from that long range sightline still. This is MIBR looking to take it by storm. All together now. Valen stunned up in towards the back. The Haunt is big, looking for that peek off of it, but Trent too much to get through, especially with that Cosmic Divide. Just seeing a glimpse of the player. Takes with the movement. Leaves it uncertain in the hands of Leaf. Bebe's forward, steps up to the challenge and the mark, but MIBR again more than ready for it. It's exactly like you said, Josh.
I like the adjustment for both teams coming out of attack timeout. I think G2 read it really nicely that MIBR were going to go for slower rounds and decided to fight over mid more, but MIBR's adjustment, like Fraud's impact here is being felt so heavily. The adjustment to go for more of these slower rounds where you default at the beginning, you pump fake at the beginning, in fact, to try to draw util out, and then it allows you to mid or late round hit. This is working really nicely in the last couple. And now G2 knocked onto a low buy and are going to have to adjust themselves. G2 still have both of their timeouts to work with, by the way, so Josh at any point could call for one of these.
Interjection. Could have changed this one, but G2 have been pretty much in control the whole time. Good standard util, nade and a haunt. Sets the pace, gets a bit of control up towards mid here for MIBR. They have guns. Just the one ult to work with, but they're worried about walking and wading into a trap. G2 on the weaker buy, and that Bucky is his prime again. How is that not a kill?
What?
Aspas barely alive is going to be limping away from that one at 10 HP, and Tex rejoining the rest of the pack. Stall util going to be expended. It's all going to be down to Leaf. Baby Bay out towards the back. He has that rifle. What is that? Dropping down. Fade away with the Bucky in hand. Still, it should be all managed.
Verno's taken a long time to get the plant down here. He's worried that he's going to get pushed.
He's hoping that somebody else will take up residency in the smoke before he goes.
Yeah, he's calling for Mazzino.
Yeah.
Gets that help, but he also buys it time for G2 to get into good position.
It's not a great plan. Spot.
Hello! Hello!
Bandit! None the wiser! These shots are starting to hurt. Bullets for the wall. They might be. C's missing off to the side. A horn is going to be accounted for. Unbroken by Valin. Valin running over them now. Mazzino! Weak as anything, and a single shot to the chest will do it.
What a fumble for MIBR. What a fumble. Against a G2 half buy. With player advantage for MIBR, they can't hold on a post plant. An absolute freebie in the back. Tex just got taken down on top rafters. They were really scared inside that smoke over towards screens as well. They wasted a lot of time getting the plant down and then kept some pretty poor post plant positioning. That's a massive round for G2 to hold a bit of momentum that MIBR were getting out of the tactical timeout.
Pressure off the shoulders. Didn't have to use much in the way of ultimates, now earned up G2.
Look at the swap up in terms of the defensive setup. B is really light here. Just banking on the fact that MIBR aren't going to go there.
Oh, steadily walking forwards. It's a recall star. Yes, it is. But Verno, more than ready. And already just sending it straight up the gut through heaven. Zekin's not worried about putting his body on the line, but it's so fast and rapid, nobody can play off the back of this. Trent, we're going to put a stop to it. To pull, a lot of util expended, but Verno's still the man of the hour. Mazzino just slips his way through, found the weak spots. Just like that, blink of an eye, it leaves it down to Baby Bay, but he's no more. No longer in the server.
Is that a defensive pullback in mid that caused two players to drop?
Yeah.
I mean, it felt perfect for the attackers, so I was assuming it was Mazzino's, but got to take a look at this one again. I mean, look, Giacomo and Valin are just out in the open.
I think it was. I mean, there's another star down, unless it was just there to replace it. But.
Man.
Crazy play by MIBR. An instant answer back, and now look at these ults again. I mean, I pointed out earlier, G2, they don't really have the money to work around it, but...
No, they keep going from broken buy to broken buy, but they won the last time.
Let's see if they can do it again. MIBR, though. Again, Tex setting his sights up towards this. Leaving that Bucky. Retreating for now.
Previous light buy round. Trent went walkabouts in B main. Got super deep out.
Yeah, I mean, Zeki made a footstep, but I think Leaf was in astral form, so he wouldn't have heard it. Bit of a misstep. Trent flashing a peek, and he's going to be no more. Lit up from behind a box. Not much in the way of cover. MIBR working them up slowly, looking to piece together where the players could be. They don't want to walk themselves into an anchored stack.
There isn't really a stack, though, this round,
no.
is there? I mean, G2 are playing very spread.
Extremely spread.
Just trying to get value out of these Buckies in weird positions over towards this side of the map.
This angle. Hello. Spotted out into the side, into the corner, and Jorg, he was hoping that at least one of these players would be stunned up.
Yeah, not a great stun from Jorg, that one.
Maybe now with that rifle in hand.
Really?
He's going to be looking to expend the ults. He's thinking about it. Steel Garden flying into the back pocket, but he might be able to pick them apart regardless. They're looking to evacuate and make their way over towards B.
Yeah, and there's just nobody home, is there? G2 have left a massive gap in their defense. And thankfully, the player with the spike got past the vice wall.
Valin, he's so damn fast here. So damn fast! Unaccounted for. Picked up the rifle, but lit up anyway by that horn. It's Aspas who responds straight from behind. It's a bit of a backstab. Leaf and Baby 2v2, and now the ults are expended this time for real. Baby hard commits it, but the time is of the essence, and does he anticipate this? Baby versus Aspas. Trying to take that timing. It's Aspas who is accounted for. Now just down to Zekin, 15 health. Barely anything at all.
Great fake flash.
One bullet will bring him down, but he's got to do it from this spot. Time pressure mounting. G2 know that they have to get a bit of a move on. Leaf and Bebe trying to clear all of this, but too much to really account for. Plant, it's in a safe tucked position. It can be watched for and accounted for. Bebe will stick it, knowing that there's safety in numbers. And a watchful eye. Leaf saves the bloody day. Up to 12 now for G2 off the back of a thrifty.
The second one, almost in a row. Round 20 and round 22, MIBR massively fumble. Verno getting caught there, just juggling through his utility up in heaven. Stabbed in the back, Mazzino as well, as he was trying to backfill this space. Just, I mean, Aspas going walkabout too with only a pistol. A small shake of the head there. Verno can't quite understand how they're throwing away the rounds where they have the biggest advantages.
Yeah, it's been multiple thrifties now. This is it, a precipice for G2. Looking to drag this one all the way to bind. Map 3 potential, but they got to convert it here. And now Zekken shredded.
So much damage. They are desperate to bait out the wall in B. And Tex just has not, Baby Bay has just not been putting it there for the last 3 or 4 rounds.
And setup remains intact over towards A. Stray bullets. It's fired back and forth.
They also didn't use that space to pick up an orb for Aspas, so, you know, they don't have the showstopper that they could have probably gone for.
Awkward in terms of the hold, but it's all down to Valen. Sends flying his own util as well to expend, but he could be quickly overwhelmed here at a moment's notice. B main control called for by G2, looking for a contact play and a stun on top of it.
Aspas, because you're fumbling the post-plant position in so bad. I don't know, man. It could have been worse. They could have lost the entire map, but...
That's the last of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta laugh it off.
Yeah.
Gotta laugh it off.
G2 are going to take a timeout. The first one that they've used in this whole map, by the way, as things get very tight towards the end. I am really surprised that Josh didn't try to hit the panic button earlier when they were winning thrifties by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
But fair play. They got to a position where they're at map point, a desperately needed map point, because if MIBR push things to OT, they've got a chance to take the entire match. At this point, you know that MIBR have been working much more towards B main at the start of the round. And they're doing this regardless of whether the wall is actually being placed in B for Baby Bay, because you can't risk it.
No. If you all in, it's game over.
But also, if you don't default B main in a round where Baby Bay does have the wall there, they are just getting permanent good information.
Yeah.
And don't have to put the strong side over towards B at all. And you're not pulling defenders in that way. So I think there is an opportunity here for G2 to either run some kind of like B-main trap play, maybe take some space over towards mid, like a mid walk down could be interesting as well. On an early timing, but instead it's a massive clash potentially over towards A ramp.
And again, the money is just dire for G2. They might be up to 12 here, but MIBR should be the prime spot to answer back. Now saying that, Mazzino and Zekken not too hot in terms of the weaponry themselves.
There's a flash been placed for Baby Bay, or from Baby Bay rather, for Jorg to play off.
Let's see how he manages in a spot like this. Tucked tight to the corner, here's a lot of util, a lot of presence, and now the rumble of the footsteps potentially. Deep harbor wall, it's going to cut its way across, but MIBR all the way past this one and more. Deep space onto A. It's already going to be gathered up for them. Zekken is the one who's done the hard work, cleared most of the way.
G2 just didn't think MIBR were going to go for a sight pop.
No.
They haven't been doing those at all.
It's all in, and it comes down to the gunfights at this point. Steel Garden again. Overlaps up. The Harbor Ult's going to be joining it now. Seeing if they can find a way to push their way forwards once more. It's a wall that cuts it up. A slight pocket is created to be able to play in, but time pressure starting to mount. Zekken's there, Judge in hand, and a bit of running gunning, why not? That's a perfect antidote towards it. Spray control intact for Mazzino, and we are going to OT.
Mazzino with a Spectre appears out of nowhere.
Overtime.
Pops up from vent, delivering death from the back. He had the pull to be able to play for the late game. G2 had no ability to be able to scale off the back of the Harbor ultimate as well. Wasted. What a crazy situation. I felt like G2 played the first half a lot better on the attack side, and yet we still ended at 6-6. Next half, I feel like MIBR, to be honest, played way better. And yet, you know, G2 were winning thrifties to be able to get things to a spot where they had the advantage. And MIBR had to scrap just to get it to OT. Josh is frustrated with that one.
It's been up and down here on Split. tumultuous map. There's going to be frustration there because G2, they had it in the palm of their hands. They could have been sending it all the way to bind by now. Not quite.
Side swap, and MIBR go for a very different approach. Double walking down mid, right off rip.
They're very eager to get as much map control as they possibly can. It's akin to how they were playing Lotus, to be honest. Always being proactive.
They're basically walking into Valen.
Is U2 going to be broken here? G2 are doing a lot to try and cut this up, but this is awkward, isn't it? Look at this. Verno accounted for. Valen had his eye on it. As Verno the one forced to react, quick snap from behind. And Aspas is not done just yet, but he's, again, twisting, turning, looking in different directions. This is just madness.
Yeah, I mean, the push down mid got them a decent amount of information, but then they overflank really hard, especially against a G2 team that was playing so slowly on their attack side. Maybe MIBR forgot exactly how Valen was calling these rounds, but the tempo was slow from G2. And this is just free. Yeah. MIBR are going to gamble stack over towards A just in case Valen makes the wrong decision.
30 seconds left.
But this is going to be a hell of a retake if MIBR can pull it off.
Yeah, everybody has to play it on site with this. Like you said, it will be a hell of a retake because cards are stacked against MIBR right now in a 3v5. Unaccounted for is Leaf again, this backstab element. Safety in numbers, but Tech's okay, just takes a head clean off. That's one player accounted for. Leaf's normally that danger player. It's a big kill. Not too concerned with their backs anymore. They can put the full focus onto the site. Bay tight towards it, but now he's going to be finished. No one to swing off the back of this one. Second to making moves, sliding, gliding straight to the side. An attack to see where the next level and layer of this is. Damage done! Second! That is just unreal!
It should not be possible. Rounds like that should not be possible. G2 are going to be kicking themselves. How is MIBR up to match point of that?
There's absolutely no way.
You could argue too much respect, I think. Also just completely isolated once up until an amazing 1v2 towards the end.
You are...
He's locked in.
Yeah, he
no
is.
reaction.
Frog can't believe it. How did they win that?
That's absolutely unbelievable. Timeout
Stern
immediately
words.
taken.
Stern words from Josh RT.
Yeah. Because, I mean, so much went wrong. I thought it was a bit odd. You had entire side control, no plan for heaven, no plan for main. They took tight into the side. It forced these really awkward post-plan positions for G2.
But
and nobody ready to trade off with the players.
No, they're never ready to swing off each other in that post-plan, which I think is a massive flaw. And goes back to what Josh was talking about during the coach interview that we had after map 1. You know, this meta is, they're trying to get the better team fights, the better ways of swinging off each other, trading off each other, and yet a couple of times in this map, they've just been completely isolated. There have been some decent post-plants where they all play together and have a ton of stall, but that was a major misstep.
And it could be one hell of a blunder because MIBR now up to match point. One more round will do it for them.
What's the adjustment coming out of the attack timeout here? How crazy does Fraud want to get? Mostly, they were doing these like pump fakes, going for the map control, looking to bait out the Vice utility, but then MIBR, for the final round of regulation, just decided to send it into A.
Oh, here we go. Signs of life on either side, out towards A.
More aggressive A ramp defense from G2.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for the A ramp control, looking to fight them with a smoke.
Really deep early smoke, like you said. Shuts the door in the face of MIBR nice and early.
They're also leaving B pretty open. Again, just assuming that MIBR are never going to go for a B pop after G2 proved that they can punish it.
See now. Oh, he's taking liberties. Look at this guy. Looking around. And he's found the perfect timing.
Oh, it's devious.
The jiggle. It was just missed there. That was Trent possibly watching it. It's one hell of a timing to operate off of. And he's already making calls for the rest of his team. Accounted for! Trent!
All right.
Okay. Well, makes up for it, doesn't he?
Macro game doesn't matter.
No, just shoot them. And Valen inserts himself once more. Prime position to do some damage here because they're going to be thinking that the site is still cleared. He's found potentially a perfect pocket to play and sidestep the C's. But Tex is going to be dishing out the damage. That was up towards mid. Still aim well trained up onto this smoke, and it all comes down to this. Prowler spotted, spam through, and it's favored to MIBR. Very good discipline, slowing it down at the right moments.
G2 now asked to do the difficult, possibly the impossible.
Looking to see if they can take this one forwards now. It's a 3v4. Players are in the appropriate positions. The shots just need to land, and Leaf has already found one. Make it two. Jorgamo's by his side. Aspas now pressed into a corner, forced to fight and batter his way out. Overexerting himself in the process because now Tex is left to do it. With 8 seconds remaining, it's just impossible. Toying with him.
Another player disadvantage. Retake over towards B to save things. And G2 draw level again at 13-13.
Wow.
This time, though, MIBR didn't get the plan down. I think that's a pretty big difference between the two there. G2 able to apply a ton of pressure right as things were getting sticky. But once you're in this kind of spot, 4-3 up,
one enemy remaining.
should be able to find your way further in.
Boys,
Great shots on a crack angle for G2. Aspas picks up the op.
In OT.
Haven't seen a huge amount of it. He was doing it towards the end of the half on defense side.
Could be a good time to strike now. He's going to be looking to sit into the util. Holy!
It doesn't get better.
And you're exactly right, Josh. Doesn't get much better than that. You want to see impact from the operator? There you go.
Yeah.
High-low setup. I mean, just pure disrespect for the G2 opening default. Throw that util, fade away with a smoke as well. Verno was into the corner, will immediately just retreat. Over the repeat as well, he's feeling himself.
Spike drop down in the open. MIBR not overcommitting to try to defend that, though. Gets smoked off, retrieved. 2v4. Should be MIBR going up to another match point here.
We said that a lot.
They're walking back into the Aspas op. Maybe anticipating that he's rotated off to somewhere, but Aspas is digging his heels in.
It's going to be tricky.
He's not had the dominant performance today, but man, was that impactful.
Oh, yeah. Match-winning stuff and still trained up onto the position. In terms of util, not much to work with if you are G2, baby. Flash ready and waiting. It's a peek before it even goes off, and he's just more than ready for it. Nade already rebounding, already primed. The util is there to bail him out. You know where baby is, you might as well use the ult, why not? 19 seconds left, and fadeaway shot to the side puts MIBR up to 14.
It's
one
beautiful.
more to do it again.
It is beautiful. That's what you're looking for. Aspas looking to pull out the attack side operator here as well to see if he can close the game. He's feeling it after that one. Could not get any better. And look at that. Leaf swings right before the flash, anticipating that Aspas or whoever else is holding there would be turning away at that moment. Because they're a good player. They know that the flash is coming.
Yep.
And yet Aspas sticks around for a moment longer. Like I said, he now picks up an attack-sided operator looking to generate a pick for the team that could see them get revenge on G2. 4 times in a row they've lost to this org. This year getting 3-0'd in devastating fashion to miss out in a spot in Santiago.
Unbelievably close. The tenure on display between both of these teams. Aspas in this game on the verge of potentially breaking a record. I think he's 4 kills away from 3,000. First player to do it in an international league, but he'd need this game to be extended a little bit more.
Yeah, he'd need quite a few more, actually.
More of an operator of his own. No one there to break the power for him. Waits till the very final moment before he eventually reveals his hand. That's going to be noted. Verno, a lot of pressure being made just by that one player alone. Contact is called for MIBR. Looking to see if they can sneak their way past all of this util. Found out though. Bebe now forced to detonate most of it. The Thorns at their feet. It's MIBR in a really strange spot and position, but the wall does a lot to bail them out. Still, damage is done. And they haven't removed these ingrained players. Anchored towards the back. It's Leaf. Put it back against the wall. Bebe by his side. Zekken! Immediate shutdown. Jorgamo's finished off. Surely this has to be it. They need to account for these players. They're potentially lining up for him second. Just making a mockery of it now, but G2, they're not dead yet, not done yet, not finished yet at all.
They fire back to be able to get things up to 14-14. MIBR with plenty of opportunities here to try to put G2 away. And yet, the dominant team of Americas of recent history have got that grit. I thought Zekken was about to get a spray down there in backside. He's been a hero for them today, but couldn't quite manage it.
Come on, good job, Nate. Yo, that.
They're looking to take it one round at a time here. Baby Bay trying to keep them focused. But it's been MIBR on the cusp of closing things recently. G2 had their map points early on in regulation. Looking to do a pop into Tex.
Yeah, here it is, the walls are up in their face. This is going to be segmenting most of the site up, splitting it up for the taking. And with those thorns down, it's Jorgamo ISO'd. Alongside that wall, there was no one to really help him in a spot like that.
We've talked a lot about the fact that MIBR can't run pops into G2, but I think the same applies in the other direction.
Yeah, trying to run it into the vice. I mean, you're slamming your head into a brick wall.
Yeah, it's so difficult for Jorgamo to do anything there. This is
Verno?
so aggressive from Verno,
If
man.
he goes down, he evens it out. He's going to be taking a peek anyway, regardless! Feeling himself! Hot hand, and he takes it one step further. Sends his team into a 2v4. That is a peaks. The damage surely already done. Shred of HP, the nade splits them up. Valen wants to see if he can step up. But surely softened, weakened to barely anything.
They know where both of these two players are. Extremity players of Tex and Mazzino just taking this space, getting ready to set up on some devious off angles.
One bullet to the chest on both of these players. Do it, and there it is.
One to the chest and one to the toe. MIBR get up to another match point. Can G2 survive again? Why did Verno go for that play?
I don't know. OT makes, I mean, listen, man, when it gets to OT like this,
yeah,
playbook starts getting thrown out.
You're in a 5v4 scenario. I'm not sure that it's the percentage play, but man, did he cook from that spot. MIBR take a timeout.
They've got to get it over the line now. They've had multiple opportunities, but G2 are a team that just will not die.
Aspas has tried attack side opping. Probably don't want to go in that direction again, but you do kind of want to run some slow rounds, so I wouldn't be mad about it. What's Fraud got? What kind of idea do they want to go for here? In the previous round on attack, or one of them, they noted that Mazzino could actually get a walkout into B.
Yeah.
So now you're starting to think, well, all right, does Baby Bay then put the wall genuinely on B main this round? You know, these are the kind of mind games that they're playing in terms of device utility and where they can get for free. I'd be very tempted to do some kind of contacty stuff over towards B,
I think it makes
just to mix
sense.
things up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's the best way of playing these comps, but when you're deep into OT like this, it's about throwing curveballs. You want to throwing something unusual,
right?
Yeah,
Which, I mean, listen, when you get this deep into OT, you've kind of tried almost everything. So it's tough to do it.
I don't know about this one though. They haven't tried an attack OT judge for Zeka.
Okay. This might do it, but there is Vice Util reinforcing the B setup, the anchoring positions here. Trent might be alone, but they'll be tricked by just a mini-map. There's a little global util that G2 have ready at their disposal.
And Baby Bay has put that wall down at B main.
Yeah.
Worried that Mazzino would con that to the rest of the team and might do something funky.
One's are deaded early as soon as the smokes are propped up.
I mean, Zeken's got to want to do something fast here into B heaven, surely, with the judge.
Over to take it now. It's a Prowler. Paves the way, at least a decent degree, but there's that high tide. Rips its way across now. This is going to be awkward to get through. Many layers towards it, but the util's going to be flying out on either side. Stuns on stuns. A lot of it now onto the back of these players, and it's all onto Baby Bay. This guy's being squeezed from multiple positions. There's no bailout waiting to receive. He needs help, and he needs it now. Long range with the smokes, looking to see if he can anchor a position here. Weather the storm. Batter down the hatches, but how do you overcome this? This is methodical from MIBR, and they are determined to put a stop to this, to put an end to it. Rounds like this, they are flattening G2, and finally slamming shut any opportunity for Leaf. He's going to open it all up, but it is just gone too wrong. 16-14, that's the finish. Split going away of MIBR. But listen, don't get me wrong, it was tumultuous, it was up and down at times, but for MIBR, this is revenge that has been 2 months in the waiting.
Absolutely. We talked about this potentially, probably, being the fight for the top team in the Alpha group. You look at these two teams on paper with what they've achieved, with what the players have achieved.
Yeah.
And even though it is week 1, this match could really matter for the standings later on down the road. And MIBR came out with fire. Loved the tactical timeouts as well. Fraud and Verno showing excellent adaptations. Even in that final round, the pathing was beautiful to be able to bait out the wall early on and then go through heaven in order to escort the B main player in and put pressure on the anchor. Love the pathing.
Yeah.
And the second Neon, I am a fan.
I'm a fan too,
I'm
man.
a fan.
It looks good. It looks prime. It looks ready. This is an MIBR squad. They've not just been resting on their laurels, sitting back and relaxing. They've been watching with eagerness, ready to pounce when stage 1 began.